Well, a lovely Thursday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Also, you can get us on Instagram as well as on the app, the Radio Player app, iHeartRadio. So thank you very much for tuning in as you make your way. Maybe you're looking for some last-second shopping, potentially. We're here in the mall. Stop by. Say hello. We'll be good. Also, of course, Oilers taking on the Boston Bruins tonight. I you know me, I love looking up stats. Came across a stat today that I'm like, what? Had to double-check it a few times. Didn't make a lot of sense to me, so we'll touch on that. The Oilers will have some lineup changes tonight. Victor Arvidsson will return to the lineup for the first time since November 12th. Now, Arvidsson said he actually tried to, he's had a little bit of a nagging injury, tried to play through it for 2 weeks, and then finally said couldn't do it anymore. And then it just lingered and lingered and lingered, and he's been out basically for 5 weeks. But he is back, and he will start tonight on a line with Henrique and Brown because Matthias Janmark, well, in theory, is going to be the fourth-line center tonight alongside Jeff Skinner and Corey Perry. Top two lines remain the same, Draisaitl with Kapanen and Podkolzin, McDavid with Hyman and Nugent-Hopkins. Zach Hyman, his beak is rather tender. He had a great line. When he took the puck in the face, he said it sounded like a bag of chips. Oh, that's actually a pretty good quote. But think about it when you have a bag of chips. It's like, oh, God. Like, you should have seen his schnoz. Like, oh, man. It's like a double strawberry. It's pretty big. He's got the huge bandage on it right now, but he's going to play. He'll be wearing the bubble again tonight and obviously through the weekend. And so away you go. But, yeah, that is a tough one, man. Like, how many of you out there have broken your nose at some point? A broken bone, but like that bag of chips description is one that you're just like, okay, I hear it. I don't want to hear it, but now I know exactly. I can't unhear it on what he was talking about. So we'll hear more from Zach Hyman on the show today. Got a loaded show with you. Jeff Merrick's going to join us here in a few minutes. Andrew Mason will join us. We'll talk some football. We got Steve Ellis, World Juniors week away starting today. We'll talk about that. Livingston, Jimmy Murphy will join us from Boston to discuss the Bruins as the pick who was taken right after Evan Bouchard in 2018. Oliver Wahlstrom, the Boston boy. He got claimed on waivers earlier this week. He's pretty fired up. He will be lacing them up for his first game as a member of the Boston Bruins tonight. We'll hear from Darnell Nurse. Coming up, I had a chance to go one-on-one with Darnell, just talk about his game, which obviously he's playing great right now. So we talked about that and a few other things. Pasternak, like a lot of superstars, everybody has different elements to their game that are very good. So what are the keys to trying to slow down Pasternak, who by his standards, he's off to a slow start. He's only on pace for 29 goals, which would be the lowest goal total since his second year in the NHL. Well, excluding the shortened season of 56, when he was on pace to score more than that anyway. But he does have 3 goals in his last 4 games, including the overtime winner in Calgary 2 nights ago. And you know how it is with goal scorers. Once they get a little taste of it again, all of a sudden, it tastes so good when it touches your lips. Quote Will Ferrell in one of the greatest movies of all time. You know what I'm talking about? Well, maybe you don't. If you haven't seen Old School, what has your life been at this point? What have you made out of your life if you haven't seen Old School? It is a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, and it's the Daily Grand. It's Thursdays. Get in. You can win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. Oh, you can take the lump sum, but it's not as fun. It's like to get $1,000 every day. Oh, so good. You can maybe keep working if you want, motivated, but it's a nice little pep in your step every day. Having a bad day. Oh, ka-ching. There's my $1,000. All right. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Also, today is our final day for packages on the month of giving, because tomorrow is the pyramid of giving. So today we have 2 packages. This one was very popular last year. It's the Canadian Brewhouse Clubhouse package. Now, this is something you can't buy. They have a special clubhouse. It's located in the south side of Edmonton. I can't even give you the address. Only person who's going to get the address is the winner. It has a full gymnasium, volleyball, basketball, hockey, soccer, tennis ball machine, rock climbing wall, 2 bowling lanes, 3 TVs, arcade games. Now, you'll also get $1,000 food and beverage credit. You can use this for a staff party, team building, birthday parties, stagette. You know what? You got a wrap-up hockey party for your hockey team. You want a very unique place. Hey, but I'm telling you, gents, the guys who rented this last year, they loved it. Had loads of fun. So actually, I think it was a gentleman had his 40th birthday party there, and they had a hoot. So it's all for charity. It's a great facility that you literally can't rent. As I mentioned, you can see some of the pictures. Like, you get in there, this could be like an all-day. I know guys. You get a group of guys together, and this could be like your athletic challenge all day, and then have a party at night. Oh, you kidding me? Bowling for sure. Rock climbing walls, arcade games. You can play dodgeball in the gym, basketball, floor hockey, volleyball. They got everything. It's amazing. So that's package number 1. All money goes to the Christmas Bureau. Package number 2. So here's this is the romantic package. Well, maybe not really, but it could be fun. So it's wine and a fireplace. So you and up to 9 friends are going to sip, savor, and become wine savvy as you'll get an educational evening hosted by wine aficionado Lila Zaniga from Collectio Wine and Spirits. Bring some bottles of wine to your place, and you get to find out everything about wine that you didn't know. Also, you're going to get $1,000 gift card from Wood and Energy Store. It's your fireplace store in Edmonton. They have a great selection of gas, wood, or electric fireplaces. Now, that's going to cover most of it, the GC for one, or you want to add up and get something even more? Definitely you can. So the wine is I think it's 8 bottles. I'll double check with Layla. That she'll bring some really quality wine. Okay, this is not going to be the Connor Halley, Jason Gregor, what is it? The Yellowback? I don't know. It's like that $10 bottle of wine. It's very good. But for people like me, you don't waste good wine on me. I've had good wine, and I do really appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. I got some, my buddy Horbs is a big wine guy. So on our golf trip every year, they bring out some really good wines, him and Sean and JR. And I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, I'll take a sip of it. I've had it and it tastes good. Don't get me wrong. But, at times I think my palate's probably wasted the really good wines. Although when you do have it, it's noticeable difference. You can taste it. So we'll did all into that. So if you want in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Package 1 is the private clubhouse. Package 2 is fireplace and wine. Now, let's get right off the hop to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches that will safely take you or your group to your next destination. Book your ride today at silentrides.ca. Of course, the host of The Sheet on dailyfaceoff.com. Of course, longtime media member Jeff Merrick joins us once again. Jeffrey, good afternoon.
Hey, bud. I am well. How are you? I understand we might be talking about Christmas movies today. It got me all excited.
Oh, yeah, we will be.
Over email. You're doing favorite Christmas movies?
We will be touching on it. Do you have one?
Okay, so I want to give you a hipster one, but legitimately, it's one of my favorites. And I stumbled upon this years ago.
Really?
Are you familiar? This goes back to 1977 or maybe 78. Okay. It is a Jim Henson production.
Oh,
are you familiar with Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas?
No, I have never heard of it.
I am sure that someone listening right now is going, yeah, that you will get, because for those that know. And once you watch Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, once you watch it once, it will become a staple. It will become like It's a Wonderful Life. Like all of a sudden, every year around Christmas time, and I still do, every year at least once, I'll watch Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. It is a tremendous Christmas movie. Jim Henson.
Okay, well, I looked it up quickly. It's based on the children's book of the same name, Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, Jim, obviously, I thought it was animation, of course. So, hey, you know what?
Puppets.
Who doesn't like that? So there you
Yep.
go. You know what? You came out of left field completely on that one. I like it because now I'm intrigued and I want to look it up.
You'll thank me later. Like I'm gonna get the text from you, dude. I thought you were just goofing, but I had to look at it on the lark. It's awesome. Like that's the text I expect to get from you now, Gregor.
Okay, well, I'll be because we're talking. You know, my son was like, "Hey, I want to watch a different movie." So I was like, "All right." I said, "I'm going to ask our listeners today.
Yeah.
What is a go-to Christmas movie?" My son's 11, so this is definitely what he like. But
so he'll dig this one. Well, I can recall like growing up, every Christmas Eve, City TV in Toronto, every Christmas Eve at like 10 o'clock, they would always air. I don't have no idea why, but I would always watch it. Slapshot. I don't know why. There it is. Okay, we just had a clip there. There you go. Edmonton, they would air Slapshot. And everybody would be tucked away, and I'd have done all my rapping and all. And I'd just sit there and I would watch Slapshot. And now, like, you know, your son's 11, you said, Jason? 11?
He's not there yet, but we've talked about it once. I
was going to say, like, what's the right age?
I'm thinking 16.
Ooh, okay. Let me flip around on you, because I certainly wasn't 16 when I first saw Slapshot. I was much younger.
You were younger. Oh, wow.
Weren't you?
No.
Weren't you?
I maybe I don't remember. I don't recall. Maybe I was 15 or 16. Yeah, that could be right now that you say that.
Really?
I don't know.
I wasn't that much. I think I was like 12 or 13.
Yeah, I was a farm kid, man. We didn't have like barely.
Okay, right. All right, city kid over here. So sure, we had all the debauched movies.
Exactly.
I watched those young.
I remember stumbling into my buddy's house once in like a porn magazine. I was like, "What is this?" I was
what
like,
is this?
That was a very different time. So most people remember that first time. We're like, what is happening here?
How do we go from Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas to stumbling into your buddy's basement? Find porn magazine.
We can cross the lines very quickly here, Jeff. Cross the lines.
I can see that. Yeah.
One side of the tracks to the other. Crossing the tracks or making trades. Let's start with the Montreal Nashville trade. 2 defensemen straight up. What do you make of this deal?
It sets up something else for the Nashville Predators, clearly. Like, I don't think any of us are looking at this one, Jason, and say, okay, this trade exists in a vacuum. No, this one is opening up some cap space. I don't think it's any secret that Nashville's in the market for a center. Like any hockey fan, casual or otherwise, can look at the Nashville Predators and say, yeah, they got problems down the middle. And that's, opening up room for Barry Trotz here to do something else. And I think it is a little bit puzzling that, Carrier just signed a deal in July. I think it might have been the first day of free agency that he signed his 3-year ticket, and he's, out the door as, we expect maybe some more players to find their way out of Nashville. Fabro, Tomasino, now Carrier, there's probably more that will be going. From Montreal's point of view, first of all, they get a Quebecois kid, right shot defenseman. They don't give up too much. It wasn't really working out with Justin Barron with the Montreal Canadiens. They get a better defender, and they get to leave players like Logan Mailloux, and while he rehabs an injury, David Reinbacher, out of the National Hockey League. Right. Yep. There's no sense of any, and I think of someone like Simon Edvinsson, who stayed at GR for a while, as everyone said, when's this kid going to be ready? And Detroit was patient. If there's one position you should really be patient with and leave players in the American Hockey League, as are your blue liners. So Logan Mailloux will stay with Laval and won't be rushed. Probably needs, the full season training in the American Hockey League. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the proper way to develop players. So this one to me looks like a real home run for Kent Hughes. Like when you have the conversation and you arrive at the package, if you're Kent Hughes, you probably can't call Central Registry fast enough just to get your side in. It's like, okay, Barry, I'm calling right now. Like, we're not taking any time. We're calling right now. Almost like when, at the draft, there are some teams that run up to the stage to make their pick because they can't believe that the player is available. I'm guessing with this one, Kent Hughes couldn't call Central Registry quick enough.
Yeah, well, they're going to I look at Montreal, and in a weird way, Jeff, I'm like, this makes them better at a time that I'm not sure they want to be better. Like this might
get it.
Like it might start their drafts.
I know what okay. I'm so glad you got there, because normally what we see when a team falls out of it, although the GM won't say it publicly, you kind of say to yourself, like, okay, like I want the games to be close, but I want us to lose because I want to get the best possible chance of getting the best possible pick. But you'll applaud Kent Hughes on this one in that, he's creating a little bit of blocking here for younger kids to make their way to the NHL, which is good for the Mayhews and the Reinbachers in Laval. But also he's trying to create an environment where the Montreal Canadiens can stay in games longer. Like we all know that there's not going to be playoffs for the Montreal Canadiens. And it's really tough when, the dog days of late January and early February hit and you're out of the playoffs and the games are all over by the time the second period rolls around. It's not a healthy environment for anyone. And I think as long as you can create an environment where kids stay, the Montreal Canadiens as a team stay in the hunt for as long as they can before they fall off, and they stay in games for the full 3 periods. I mean, listen, Jason, you saw that Oilers team that was, out of the playoffs by December and out of the game by the beginning of the second.
Which year?
It was awful, right? Terrible.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Which year, right? Defenseman couldn't get the pucks to the forward, so we didn't know how good Taylor Hall or Jordan Eberle was or Ryan Nugent. Like, you were there to document all of it. You saw all of this. And I think that's, one of the sort of cautionary tales for a lot of these teams. And again, like, doing the full tank is hard and painful and can set you up for years of pain that you didn't even intend to happen. And look at Anaheim and look at Chicago. Just when you think even Montreal, just when you think you're taking a turn, when you're developing, you learn that it's a bunny hop more than anything else.
Jeff Merrick joins us. So, like, I look at Montreal and, we'll see where they go from here. There is something to be said about being competitive. Then I wonder if they look and say, hey, if we're picking second, we're picking fourth. We think we're really going to get a similar player. So let's just get better now. I also wonder if this is a little protection for a future Mike Matheson trade.
I think we've all wondered about that. I mean, with deadline, on the horizon and as the calendar flips, I think we're all going to start to look at, and more specifically, as you and I talked about, once the Four Nations is done, I think the trade market really heats up and we'll see who's healthy and who's not and who's in and who's out. If you're Ken Hughes, and teams always call for defensemen at trade deadline, I don't think it would be a shock to anybody to hear the name Mike Matheson bandied about as the trade deadline approaches. I think you're prescient on that point, Jason.
Yeah, like I'd be surprised. What about the Capo Caco for Seattle for Will Borgen, a few draft picks? What do you make of that deal?
From which point of view, or do you want to do like the 360-degree look at this thing?
Yeah. Well, tell me first of all, who do you like to trade better for?
Initially, because I like it for Seattle. And I know there'll be a lot of people that might look at that and say, well, he really didn't do anything. He was given a number of chances with the New York Rangers. He played with some really good players. He wasn't as if he was, languishing on the fourth line his entire time in New York. He played on lines and he played with players. Has a development been there? No, that's probably more of a knock on the Rangers organization in some regards, more so than Capo Caco. Again, and stop me if you've heard this one before, another player who spent exactly 0 time in the American League before, jumping right into the NHL. I mean, Jason, we talked about the Buffalo Sabres and what the issue there is. I mean, whether it's, Kravtsov, there was a development issue there. Elias Anderson, there was a development issue there with the New York Rangers. So some flags here. But I'll tell you, the Seattle Kraken, and I think of a couple of players specifically. One is Daniel Sprong, and the other is Eeli Tolvanen. They have had some success here with reclamation projects and trying to, and being able to uncover, the inner offensive player that is in the Sprongs and the Tolvanens, and they hope for their sake, Kako, because you can remember that draft year. Like going into the draft, like Kako was incredible. I remember talking at the NHL Players Tour in Chicago to Henrik Lundqvist. And he's like, look, I just, a couple of weeks ago got off the ice with Kako. This kid is phenomenal. Like everything, all indications were that this kid was going to be legit NHLer and be really productive. And as with, with a number of situations where you don't groom yourself in the American Hockey League, it went south and it stayed there to the point now where we're saying, well, if they can get 20 goals out of Kako, they should consider themselves lucky. Seattle's done a good job uncovering uncovering goals and the goal potential in players. Now, from the New York Rangers point of view, I think the calculation was pretty simple, Jason, and it goes like this. He has arbitration rights, and he's going to be a UFA in a year. So the decision is, do we want to, risk, going to arbitration where he could kill us and then just walk away and we end up with nothing other than cap space? Or do we try to get the best of all possible deals right now in a very diminished marketplace for this player? Now, I don't think this is going to be the last deal that Chris Drury makes. It might just be the beginning of a number of deals that they make. But this one, initial win. And again, I'm still looking at him as potential more than actual, because I still think that there's more to give by Kakko. I still look at this one as a win for the Seattle Kraken initially. We'll see how it ends up.
I'm with you. I'm not saying Kaapo Kähkönen is going to become a top line scorer, but I think this guy could score 20 goals. Yeah, he scored 18 when he played with Hito and Lafreniere, right? That's what he was. I don't think he's going to be a high end guy, but he's also only 23 years of age. Like it's the constant rush of players. It's mind blowing to me. Everyone's like, oh, he's been in the league 6 years. He should only have been in the league 3 years. And imagine how better he'd be if he would have gained some confidence. Like it's an endless cycle of stupidity. And yet fans, it's Kaapo Kähkönen's fault. What? No, Kaapo Kähkönen. No, it isn't. All right. Now, do you want to mature later? But when you lose your confidence, you don't touch the puck and you don't play, it has a bearing on the player. It just does.
That's why this might just be the classic change of scenery, right? And I guess if you're Chris Drury, and you can't live with this fear, like you make the deal that you think is right for your team. But let's say that all of a sudden the change of scenery, the less pressure, not everybody thrives under the bright lights of New York and MSG and the constant chatter, and it's a very noisy market. You go to the other end of the country and things are a little bit more laid back and you have new teammates and you feel like you have a new lease on your career. We've seen it before, right? How many players exited the Buffalo Sabres only to find, richer pastures out there? I guess that's a fear if you're Chris Drury, and I guess that's the hope if you're Ron Francis on this one. I would have to think too that one of the assistants there, Alexandra Mandrycky, would have had a lot to say and would have done a lot of the legwork on this one as well.
Jeff, great stuff, my man. Have yourself a very Merry Christmas and all the best in the new year.
All the best to you and your family and all of your listeners. And do yourselves a favor, everybody. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Just the name alone.
New Year. It's great,
Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. I like it. That's what's great. So awesome. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thanks, pal. We'll talk soon.
There you go. That's Jeff Merrick from the sheet at dailyfaceoff.com. So any of you guys even heard of it? Cons, you heard of that movie before?
No. I like you. I was looking it up immediately. Good rating, though.
Yeah, got really good ratings.
People seem to like it. So
gonna have to try it.
I don't know where to find it.
Well, that's going to be the challenge.
Yeah.
But nowadays you can find almost anything. So
you look hard enough, you'll get it.
If you look hard enough, you can find
it. You might have to go to some shady websites. Risk it all. But
I don't do that. I did it once, got a bunch of viruses. I've never done it again since. No. Actually, I did it when I was trying to watch. I don't even know what it was. We were trying to stream something here, and I went to watch a show, and then nope, done. So it's a sporting event. I don't even know why we couldn't get it. So you're like, oh yeah, click this link. Clicked it. No, that was a fail.
I think that website's no longer around either.
Well, probably why. So there you go. Quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk lots of Oilers. We'll get to our month of giving items and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
New year, new you. Let's kickstart 2025 by making better life choices, starting with quality pizza from Papa John's. Right now, get 25% off any regular menu price pizza with promo code BETTER25. A deal so good, it might just count as self-care. But hurry, resolutions wait for no one. Offer ends January 5th. Order now at papajohns.ca with promo code BETTER25. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some Papa John's.
Now for today's holiday special, Legacy Heating and Cooling saves Christmas. Santa's furnace broke down in the shop last night, and the elves couldn't make any toys, that's right, because the HR lady said it's in humane conditions. But ho, 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 golly gee, Santa got a 1-year guarantee, and the elves are working merrily with a brand new furnace from Legacy. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta? New players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet. Every week, all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
You don't know what awaits you on the road to come, but with the 2025 XC90 from Volvo of Edmonton, you'll have the versatility to take on whatever life throws at you. The new XC90, a luxurious SUV with seating for up to 7, boasts newly upgraded body and wheel design. It's the perfect choice to drive into the coming year. And right now, you'll save $4,500 and lease from 1.49% on all in-stock 2025 XC90s. Volvo Cars Edmonton. VolvoCarsEdmonton.com, 1205 101 Street Southwest.
For half a century, that's 50 years, GS Construction has been building the foundation of Edmonton and the surrounding area's infrastructure. But let's make one thing clear. This milestone would never be achieved without the dedication of our incredible team. Together, we've built the underground infrastructure that keeps things running smoothly, from the existing to the new underground systems. It's 50 years of hard work the team has put in to make it all possible. Here's to another 50 years. For more on our team and our work, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price starting at $1 plus tax for a small. It's great if you love great tasting coffee. $1 small premium roast coffee every single day. Must be McCafe. Plus tax at participating restaurants in Canada. Excludes delivery.
For over 65 years, Denham Ford has delivered the customer service and value that keeps Albertans moving for work and play. And that tradition continues with the final year-end 2024 clear-out. Enjoy low rates or thousands in year-end savings on every vehicle, including F-150, Bronco, and Super Duty. That's the value you've come to expect from where cars always cost less. Denham Ford on Highway 2A in Wetaskiwin or at denhamford.ca.
It feels like the cost of everything has been going up and up and up. That's why Encore's electricity rates are getting really low. With our rates falling lower, you can feel carefree about your bill.
A low rate means lower stress.
Switch to a new fixed-rate electricity plan with Encore by Epcor and save.
Get the lowdown
And stay carefree at encore.epcor.com/lowdown. Customers are free to purchase natural gas or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For a list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822 toll-free.
an accident. And it wasn't your fault.
How can I access funds for treatment?
What if I have to change jobs?
How do I even figure out how much my claim is worth?
What if my car is a write-off? Is there funding for help with the housework?
It feels like no one has my back.
Robinson LLP does. Visit RobinsonLLP.com to find your injury lawyer. Robinson LLP, the recovery team.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
2:30. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X as we continue on. It is the last day with auctions anyway for the month of giving, because tomorrow is Pyramid Giving. We're helping out Adopt a Teen tomorrow. But today we got two packages open up at 500 from Dan on package number 2, which is the wine and fireplace. Well, you get $1,000 GC to go to a wood and energy store, your fireplace store in Edmonton. It's a great selection of gas, wood, and electric fireplaces, as well as you'll have like a wine evening. Leila Zaniga, of course, from Collectio Wine and Spirits. You and up to 9 friends. If you want 10 of you, great. If you want 6 or 7, then it's just more wine for you. It's your choice. And she'll come and you'll go through a whole evening learning about bubbles and white and rose and red, covering old world and new world and a variety of varietals. Now, when I read that the first time, I'm like, what's a varietal? I looked it up. Who knew? Clearly, I'm not a big wine person. Cons, do you know what varietals are?
No. My wine, when I drank it, was like the sweetest, fruitiest tasting wine that was the cheapest. So probably on different wavelengths with these fine folks.
Well, a varietal is basically, it's a wine made primarily from a single named grape variety. That's what it means.
Sounds elite.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Little bit of snootiness. No, I'm kidding. But if you want to feel like, what kind of varietal is this? Yes, that'll be great. So a little wine and fireplace mixed together. So you get the fireplace and you learn about wine, and then, hey, you know what the saying is, wine, dine. Okay, so 833-401-1440. That's only at 500. And the package number 1, which is the Brewhouse Clubhouse package. Now, this is something you can't just go and get. This is a private facility, but they're going to rent it out to you. This is unreal. It's got a full gymnasium, volleyball, basketball, hockey, soccer, tennis ball machine. There's a rock climbing wall, 2 bowling lanes, 3 TVs, arcade games. Like, you can have a massive party there. There's also $1,000 food and beverage credit. So you want to bring in some food, they'll order food for you and bring it all in. It's unreal. And Jason has that at 1,000. So let's get that up and running. We're helping out the Christmas Bureau today. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. These are like some social stuff that we haven't really done lots on. So you want to get in on that today. The Edmonton Oilers, of course, Zach Hyman will play. No surprise, considering he came back and played despite getting that puck right in the face. His description, though, we'll hear from. We got the Zach Hyman stuff ready, Cons? Yes. All right. Here's Zach Hyman giving you the latest kind of update on his face.
Something hit me. I think it was the puck, but maybe hit the. I don't know. Honestly, Bernard, I don't know what hit me, but obviously hit me. My nose moved where it shouldn't have been, and reset it, and yeah.
My nose moved where it shouldn't have been. I've never broken my nose, but like I've heard a guy's nose, and then they go, like that crack, and they pop it back in. Oof. Here's Hyman, just his thoughts on breaking his beak and then coming back and playing through it.
Yeah. I mean, this one was, like I said, I've broken it a bunch of times. This one was a little worse process. Puck hit the nose and shifted, had to get it reset. And then just dealing with bleeding. Like it wouldn't stop bleeding. So shove gauze up there. Hardest part is you can't breathe and you're just dealing with blood going into your nose. And then if it can't get out your nose, it's going into your mouth. So just dealt with that. And then got it fixed up the next day. Missed practice, but feeling good.
Sounds super fun, doesn't it? Like, I think sometimes you figure it's not just about like the pain of it. And then he talks about playing with the bubble.
It's fine. Like all things, if you're allowed to play, you can play with the bubble. Obviously, not allowed to get, or shouldn't be getting my nose hit right now. So letting it heal, get the bubble on. I wore a cage in college, so a little removed from that, but
yeah, it's not the end of the world, right? Lots of guys will do it. Now, I have talked to players about it. At times, you feel like when you want to look down and the puck's right in your feet, just because you're not used to it, it feels like it goes into a blind spot at times. So, that's the challenge where, maybe in tight quarters, sometimes you don't get as clean of a look as you would without it. But like anything, if you wore it all the time, then eventually you just adjust and the angles you take and away you go. Now, Hyman, of course, was asked about one of the top guys who, of course, was named to Team Canada playing for the Bruins. And, they're similar in some ways in how they play, but obviously very different. But Brad Marchand's a guy who kind of makes his living around the net more. He's also an excellent penalty killer. And Hyman was asked just what he views from his perspective that makes Marchand so effective.
He plays all areas of the game, power play, penalty kill, 6-on-5, 5-on-6. So just a really effective player, plays really hard, not afraid to go into the corners, go to the dirty areas, and then obviously has some elite skill to go with it. So been one of the premier players in the league for a long time.
And David Pasternak, 3 goals in his last 4 games for them. And we'll see if that continues tonight. The other kind of unique note about this game is the Oilers haven't. Now, granted, they've only played 4 times since, so it sounds worse because of obviously they were scheduled late in 2019, then it didn't happen. COVID, then the next year, so away go. But the Oilers have lost. They haven't beaten Boston in Edmonton since October 18th, 2018. But what's interesting is during the McDavid era, the Oilers have 10 wins, 4 losses, 2 overtime losses. 2 of those losses and the 2 overtime losses have been the last 4 home games for the Oilers. But in that time, exact same time, the Oilers haven't lost in Boston since October 18th, 2018. So they played each other back, a week apart, and the road team won. The home team won each of those games. And since then, the road teams have won all 8. 4 in Edmonton, Boston wins. 4 in Boston, Edmonton wins. So we'll see if that trend continues or if the Oilers can finally get it back on track tonight. Hey, guys, would Carlo have been an upgrade for the Oilers? I don't think he was ever really a guy who was on the market. I don't think Boston was interested in trading him. You would have had to trade a lot to get him. So, yeah, I like Brandon Carlo, no question. But you're not getting him. Like, you got to give up significant to get Brandon Carlo. So upgrade, sure, but you might have to probably downgrade in a lot of other areas to make that happen. So we'll, you can't get every player. Like, there's lots of good players in the league, and you're not going to land all of them in trades. But I've never even heard Carlo's name bantied about as a guy who was ever on the market. So I don't see it really being much of one at all. Hey, guys, I broke my nose on the goalpost getting tripped on a breakaway. Felt that it was like a sponge. Somehow healed relatively straight. Yeah, well, you see a few guys, right, when they get their beak broken and it's got a curve in it sometimes, or it's a little sideways, and it's if you do break your nose and you're able to have it straight afterwards, you're pretty lucky. Pretty lucky. So. Few other texts coming in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, boys, with Matthias Janmark playing center, how long do you think that lasts? Well, good question, Mike. I don't think, he's listed as the 4th-line center today. Derek Ryan's going to be the healthy scratch. And Janmark's listed with Perry and Skinner. How many shifts are they going to take together? A few. But Janmark, he did play center for 2 or 3 games to start the season last year, if you recall. Wasn't very long. I'll have to actually go back and look to see how many faceoffs he took. But, he said, hey, he doesn't expect that he's going to take a ton of faceoffs, especially defensive zone draws, unless it's an icing and they have no choice. Right? If they're on the ice and somehow they ice the puck, well, then, yeah, he's going to have no choice. Right? Skinner and Perry aren't going to take it, so it would be him. But I don't know how many times we'll see him there. Knobloch even hinted that he's going to play him in different spots. He also said that Arvidsson, they're going to monitor him. They're going to kind of bring him back and be leery of the fact that they play 3 games in 4 nights. So he might not get huge minutes right now. We'll see. But Janmark is a really good skater, and he's very smart, reliable defensively. I think he can play the position because he's so defensively responsible that he'll adjust to it fine. The one thing about having him play the middle, he's a better skater than Derek Ryan. Right? He's bigger, better skater, and you're in motion a little bit more as the center iceman, whereas as a winger, lots of times you got to be very quick from the start, standstill. So it's something to monitor. I don't think it's a real big concern because Janmark's such a smart player defensively. I don't think we're going to see him. He knows what his responsibility is as center. I don't think we're going to ever see him blow in the zone. I don't think we have to worry about that. I don't think he's suddenly going to leave his man wide open in the slot. I'd be a little surprised if that occurred. Quick break. When we return, huge game to break down, and a very serious question about playoffs. Next on the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Santa sweat, dripping on the tree, due to that new furnace that you got from Legacy.
Legacy Heating and Cooling wants to help you prepare for Santa. A nice warm stop during the cold night is the gift you give him. And Legacy can help with no payments and no interest for 1 year on your festive new furnace, because warm homes get better presents. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Everybody now, Santa sweat, this is really weird. Santa perspiration.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
New year, new you. Let's kickstart 2025 by making better life choices, starting with quality pizza from Papa John's. Right now, get 25% off any regular menu price pizza with promo code BETTER25. A deal so good, it might just count as self-care. But hurry, resolutions wait for no one. Offer ends January 5th. Order now at papajohns.ca with promo code BETTER25. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some Papa John's.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquacentral reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab elevation models. With Sierra's 13.4-inch diagonal premium GMC infotainment system with Google built-in compatibility, available off-road package with hill descent control, plus an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine. You can take the road less traveled and try new things, like fishing or whitewater rafting. I should have gone fishing. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNuggets, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area. Prices exclude delivery.
For years now, we've been warning Edmontonians on the hazards of our stormwater facilities. While they may appear to look like still ponds, there is moving water beneath the surface, which makes the ice dangerously... The unpredictability of stormwater facilities makes them treacherously unsafe for all winter activities, even walking. So think twice. Don't go on the ice. A safety message from EPCOR.
Employee pricing is on now at GMC. Get up to $10,104 off select 2024 Sierra 2500 AT4 models. Make loading easier than ever with the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. Make hauling easier than ever with up to 14 available camera views, including transparent trailer view. And make finding tunes easier than ever with a class-leading 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen. Yeah, let's get to work. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
My utility bills are going through the roof. How can I take advantage of the sun and put my lazy roof to work?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Energy team reporting. When you're ready to make your home or business more efficient, Action Electrical has the power to install solar panel systems and EV chargers.
Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta with supercharged skills and strong family values. ActionElectrical.net.
To kick off, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.247. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Sports1440.ca. Of course, Oilers taking on the Boston Bruins tonight. Oilers will have Stuart Skinner. Jerry Swayman will be in goal for the Bruins. Wallstrom, who was claimed on waivers, will play his first game for the Bruins. Also, Victor Arvidsson back in the lineup for the first time since November 12th. I didn't want to say what his injury is. Good sources tell me it was hip. It was his issue. So hip flexor, hip pointer, something like that. But Arvidsson is finally back, and he'll start on the third line tonight with Henrique and Brown. Also tonight, Thursday night football, a very, very important game as we get to our football report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter at legacyheating.ca. is Andrew Mason from Denver Sports 104.3 joins us. And Andrew, a pretty big game tonight. I saw a statistic. Bo Nix in the red zone is like 21 touchdowns, 1 interception in the red zone. Like, he's been really good. And like when you got to get into the scoring zone, he's pretty damn good.
He is. Now, that being said, you should have a ratio that high because, you know, elsewhere on the field, up until you get to the red zone, you're not as likely to throw a touchdown. So it should be skewed to a pretty nice extreme there. But even by that standards, 21-1 is pretty impressive, and shows a reason why he's had a rookie season that I think gives the Broncos a lot of reason for promise and hope in him, even though the last couple of weeks for Bo Nix have not been his best.
And you look at it right now, the Broncos and the Chargers are both in a playoff spot. Broncos 9-5, the Chargers 8-6. Broncos, I think if they win this game, then they clinch a playoff spot because Indianapolis can't catch them. And if the Chargers win, like, it's pretty rare that Indy would have to win out anyway. So the Broncos would have to lose out, I think, to get caught. So both these teams are most likely going to make the postseason. So then it just comes down to, well, we're going to play the Chiefs, we're going to play the Bills, we're going to play the Steelers. You know, it's not going to be an easy one. But when you look at this matchup, let's start for the Denver defense against the offense of the Chargers. What is one key matchup you look at that has to go Denver's way for them to shut down the offense of the Chargers?
Well, yeah, I think you've got to contain. You got to contain the tight ends, and I say that because that's an area that I think for the Broncos has been somewhat problematic. That being said, this isn't a Chargers team that's got a lot of weapons. I mean, you've got one receiver playing at a high level, Ladd McConkey. The Broncos can shut down one receiver pretty well, especially because they've got Pat Surtain, even though they're still without their number 2 cornerback, Riley Moss. So I'd say it's the middle of the field. It's the tight ends. Hayden Hurst is in that group, for example. The Chargers don't have Will Dissly for this game, and he's somebody who's actually caused the Broncos some problems over the years. But that's kind of where the focus is on. But this should be a chance for the Broncos to get better on defense after a couple of games that saw earlier in this month, Jerry Jeudy go off against them. And then this past week, really bailed out by Jonathan Taylor dropping the ball at the goal line, and then the lateral that Nick Bonito intercepted, really bailed out by the Colts a little bit. But the Chargers struggling on offense, struggling at running back in the ground game. I think this offers the Broncos a chance to get back on their feet defensively.
Looking at the matchup, the Chargers secondary got crushed last week, especially when their rookie goes out and all of a sudden they fell apart. Mike Evans was like, okay, thank you very much. And he lit him up. Now, Cortland Sutton's a pretty good receiver. I don't put him in the Mike Evans category, but is Sutton the guy that you see here? Like, you look at this secondary right now, the Chargers, and is there a specific side of the field you expect him to attack, or just overall, Bo Nix in the offense should pass the ball a lot tonight?
I think just mostly overall. Now, that being said, the guy who really came on in the last game that the Broncos played against the Chargers was Devon Vele, rookie receiver out of the University of Utah. And he was very productive for the Broncos in November. And then last couple of games, he only has one catch. I think they'd like to see him get involved maybe on some of those out patterns toward the sideline. That's something that he's shown an ability to exploit there. So that's a name I think to kind of keep in your mind as you look at the Broncos trying to get this going. Of course, at running back, the Broncos won't have Jaleel McLaughlin tonight. He's actually leading them in yardage per carry so far this season. He's been their main running back in the last 3 games with 149 yards over those 3 games, as they've got kind of a running back committee going. So that's another reason why I think you'll see the Broncos maybe try to test the Chargers and downfield and find Devon Vele and Cortland Sutton as well. Also keep your eye on Marvin Mims Jr. because the second-year receiver is being used out of the backfield quite a bit. They've found an interesting hybrid role type for him where he's taking a couple of handoffs a game, where he's running some wheel routes, where he's still running some traditional receiver routes. They're kind of moving him all over the place, and he might be a little bit of a secret weapon the Broncos try to use tonight.
Andrew, Connor Halley here. Looking at the Chargers side of the ball, or defensively, up front, they have shown the ability to get after the passer with those edge rushers, and the defensive line has been improved. I know the Denver Broncos paid Garrett Bowles. Mike McGlinchey got paid as well. How has the offensive line for the Denver Broncos looked as of late this season?
Been tremendous. They actually, according to ESPN Analytics, they rank number 1 in the league in pass block win rate and number 2 in the league in run block win rate. Now, it's been tremendous, and it's an offensive line that should be at a high level because of how much they've invested in it. You mentioned the Garrett Bowles contract that he got recently, and of course, Mike McGlinchey and Ben Powers were big ticket free agents back in the 2023 offseason, and Quinn Miners over at right guard got a big contract back in July. So they've spent a lot at 4 positions along the offensive line, and that investment has been well rewarded, both in terms of run blocking and pass blocking. And also it kind of tells you that when you look at their issues on the ground, it's not what's happening up front because the creases are generally there. But Javonte Williams in the backfield has struggled to really get going over the course of this year, which has held back their running game. But up front, it's outstanding.
Nick Bonito, a guy who's really come on as of late. I believe only 3 games this year where he hasn't been credited with at least half a sack. We saw it last year in glimpses, but what have you seen from his overall game, just taking these strides to continually get better as a pass rusher?
Well, he had a little bit of weight this past off season, and that helped him against the run and to be stouter at the point of attack. That was the thing that was holding him back the first couple of years, was teams knew they could run right at him and have success. And as a result, you saw Baron Browning and Jonathan Cooper playing a lot more than Nick Bonito. Bonito was the 3rd guy in among that edge rusher group. He added some bulk this off season, but they still started the season with Cooper and Browning, but then Browning got injured in week 2, and Bonito came in and just seized that job and showed that he's not a liability against the run. And this is, to me, what has allowed this year for him to separate and become one of those better edge rushers in the league. If you can't be stout at the point of attack and you're only a sub-package guy, it's well and good, but it's going to limit the number of snaps that you're going to get. Now he's an effective every down edge rusher, not a liability against the run. And it seems like the confidence in his game has just mushroomed from there to where you're talking about him legitimately being one of the best edge rushers in the game right now.
Ladd McConkey, Cortland Sutton. When you look at this matchup, who do you think has a better game tonight?
It might be Ladd McConkey just because the Chargers at this moment have fewer options at wide receiver, whereas with the Broncos, even with Cortland Sutton, they'll spread the ball around. And, there was a game for Cortland Sutton earlier this year where he had no catches, and it was a Thursday night game they played back in October against New Orleans. So I think just the way they use him is why I'd say Ladd McConkey ends up having the bigger game, because the Broncos might get the ball to Cortland Sutton, say 3 times for 45 yards, and McConkey just ends up getting more because he's a little more of a focal point than Sutton sometimes is.
Yeah, and that's totally valid. Now, looking at this Charger team, Connor, who just asked me a question, he's a huge Charger fan. He's actually wearing a Chargers hat as we speak right now. The other day when they lost, he goes, yeah, well, that's just the Chargers. They get good and then they're bad. Like, where do you look at this team? How good are they? How much of a difference has Harbaugh made to the organization, Andrew?
I mean, he's transformed it in a lot of ways. I mean, you used to think whenever there's a lead blown, okay, they're going to Charger this one, right? Like that's chargering becoming is a word that exists around the NFL. And you look back at the Bengals game, for example, last month, and it looked like the Chargers were going to Charger that one up and give it away. But in the end, they didn't, and they pulled it out. And so I think this team does have a little more strength in clutch situations than you've seen from past Chargers editions. But I would also say that as we've seen from the relative lack of punch and depth at skill positions, while they've done a nice job building things up front, and they have one of the best offensive lines in football, they do need to go shopping for some more speed and dynamic potential at the skill positions, because right now it's an offense that, even with a quarterback as prolific as Justin Herbert can be, and as accurate as he can be, he only has 2 picks this year. It's definitely an offense that doesn't really electrify you, pardon the pun.
Touche. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Andrew, for this. Enjoy the Thursday nighter. It's a big game and likely 2 teams that will be in the postseason in a few weeks.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys.
There you go. That's Andrew Mason from Denver Sports. As the Broncos, win and they clinch a playoff spot. Even if they lose, the Colts would have to win out. And I haven't even looked at the tiebreaker. The Broncos might even own the tiebreaker anyway. I don't think so for sure, but because I don't see an X beside their name yet. But right now the Colts are 6-8. Well, I guess there's still the Bengals are involved too in Miami, theoretically. But if Denver wins 1 game, they're in. If the Chargers win, then they don't officially clinch, but they give themselves very close. The Bengals, they're probably rooting for a Broncos win tonight, I would think, Cons, right? Because then if they win their game, then they're only 1 game back of the Chargers.
Yeah, so the Denver Broncos need a win plus a Miami loss or tie, a Cincy loss or tie, or the Colts to lose or tie. So they've essentially win and they're in.
But if the Broncos win, they have 10 wins. Indianapolis, Miami, and Cincinnati can only win 9 games. So they don't even need another loss.
I'm just going from NFL.com.
Yeah, well, but no, there's 17 games. Just do the math, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're all 6-14. The best they can be is 9-8. So all that has to happen is the Broncos win. They're 10-5. And they lose their other 2. They're 10-7. They're automatically in. So the Broncos win and they're in. So I don't see the math any other way. No one else can catch them, right? They can't get to 10 wins. None of Cincy, none of Miami, none of Indianapolis. Can't do it. So win and you're in if you're the Broncos.
Oh, sorry. Okay, win or.
Oh,
the other teams lose.
Oh, yeah. No, they win, they're in. Yeah. Or they would need, they probably own the tiebreaker on who? Who do they own the tiebreaker on? Because if Miami loses or like who they own, well, if they all lose, then they're in automatically. But
Yeah.
Either way, I think the Broncos, like, they got to win one of their final 3 games.
Yeah.
They'll make it.
Yeah. Chargers, I think they,
Chargers,
same sort of scenario. They get the Raiders and the Patriots. So,
so all they got to do is win 2 of 3.
yeah. If they don't win,
yeah. Because if
something's going down.
If they win 2 of 3, then they can't be caught either.
Yeah. And those other teams need to go undefeated. The Colts, Andrew talked about it.
Yeah, the Colts are done.
Fumbling the ball, Jonathan Taylor on the goal line, like humiliating. And then running that double reverse with poor execution. Great play by Bonito. Like, watched his film, did the research for the pick 6. But my goodness, if you're a Colts fan, you win that game and you have a really good opportunity. They absolutely blew it.
Yeah, that was not ideal. Just after 3:00, we'll update you in the month of giving. A little bit slow in the first hour, but hey, this is our final day for auctions. So let's get that up. We're helping out the Christmas spirit. They still need a lot of help. And you got some great socializing packages. 833-401-1440. We'll tell you what they are after Connor Halley. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. This holiday season, Booster Juice is serving tidings of caramel joy. To try the salted caramel smoothie and Booster Ball that will put a jingle in your step. Available for a limited time. Only at Booster Juice. Download the Booster Juice Rewards app.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers in action, hosting the Boston Bruins down at Rogers Place. Victor Arvidsson returns to the lineup, coming back from injury that had him miss the last 15 games. With that, Matthias Janmark will send to the 4th line with Harry and Skinner. Derek Ryan draws out of the lineup. Elsewhere around the NHL, Sharks host the Avs. The Canucks are in Vegas. Flames welcome the Sens to the Scotiabank Saddledome. Kraken battle the Blackhawks. Preds up against the Penguins. Kings in Philly. Jackets and Devils, and the Lightning taking on the Blues. In the NFL, Week 16 kicks off down in Los Angeles as the Chargers host the Broncos. Kickoff 6:15 in that one. In the association, the Raptors will take on the Brooklyn Nets. That one starts at 5:30 in Toronto. You also have the Celtics, Bulls, Hornets, Wizards, Magic, Thunder, and the Jazz in Detroit. Canadian pitcher Mike Soroka has signed a 1-year contract with the Washington Nationals. Soroka, 27, was an All-Star in 2019 with the Braves when he posted a record of 13-4. In the PWHL tonight, the Ottawa Charge hit the Minnesota to battle the Frost. That one's starting at 6 o'clock Mountain Time. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear from our co-host, Terry Ryan. Also, talk some World Juniors with Stephen Ellis from Daily Faceoff, and speed things up in the Cantork Racing Report with Colin Livingston. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 furnace service company for the holidays because we don't charge overtime rates, including 24/7 emergency. Oh, I need service, please, Santa. Tell me your price. My furnace is naughty. Would you please make it nice? No, I can't wait to find it under my tree. Please send me service from Legacy. No overtime or emergency rates during the holidays or ever. That's how you service your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
New year, new you. Let's kickstart 2025 by making better life choices, starting with quality pizza from Papa John's. Right now, get 25% off any regular menu price pizza with promo code BETTER25. A deal so good, it might just count as self-care. But hurry, resolutions wait for no one. Offer ends January 5th. Order now at papajohns.ca with promo code BETTER25. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some Papa John's.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe in the wisdom of Patch Adams. Treat a disease, you win, you lose. Treat a person, I guarantee you'll win no matter what the outcome. We don't treat conditions, we treat people. From personalized treatment plans to compassionate care, we're committed to helping you achieve your goals. That's why hands-on techniques, unique technologies, and a commitment to hiring amazing people mixed with friendly, fun neighborhood environments. And ta-da! No, it's not magic. It's about being human. Sometimes being human hurts, but life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price starting at $1 plus tax for a small. It's great if you love great tasting coffee. $1 small premium roast coffee every single day. Must be McCafe. Plus tax at participating restaurants in Canada. Excludes delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Ewell. Ewell.ca, your power play partner with a new website that puts the power in your hands with 24/7 ordering and shipping within Edmonton and across Alberta. Score an account today at ewel.ca.
Hat-tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's after 3 o'clock. How are you, Jason Gregor? Connor Halley. It is Thursday afternoon, December 19th, in about an hour and a half. Now, you might be on the road. It'll be getting dark. For the love of Christmas, make sure your taillights are on. All right? That is our quest for Christmas, is to get more people to realize that usually they're driving around without their taillights on. On the QE2, on the Hyundai, like what? Come on. Just take a quick, ask somebody, hey, are my taillights on? Oh, well, guess what? The little switch, usually on the left side of your steering wheel, turn it to make sure your lights are on. Just a little tip from us to make it safer for everybody. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Use the promo code Gregor50 to get a free $50 play. Now, that'll help you a lot. The tip on your lights, well, you know what? It'll make it, you're helping others. That's your gift to others, to be aware on the road. Okay? Love it. Now, the month of giving. Today's our final day for auction items. We got 2 of them. Let's fire it up. A little slow start, but that's okay. Start slow, finish fast. That's great. Package 1 from the Canadian Brew House. It's a Clubhouse package. This is, you'll get, first of all, you get $1,000 food and beverage credit. Number 1. Then you get to use this as a private facility that it's not owned for public consumption. I don't even know the address. Honestly, true story. I don't. They only give it to you after you book and make your donation. All right. And then they'll book the day. Away you go. This has got a full gymnasium with volleyball, basketball, all the sports you want to play. There's a tennis ball machine. You want to play tennis in there, rock climbing. There's 2 bowling lanes. 3 TVs, arcade games. It's unreal. Like, this is a great place for a stag-ed, a big, the winner last year had his 40th birthday party, said it was amazing. Everybody had a great time. Okay. So, you can use it for a staff party, team building experience, everything else. So, that's currently, Jason has that at $1,000. Package number 2 is the wine and fireplace. You can have up to 9 friends, right? But if you have 8, then there's just more wine for you. It's kind of how it works. And you're going to have wine aficionado Leila Zaniga from Collectio Wine and Spirits. She comes to your home. It's basically like a big wine tasting. You learn all about wine. You know, you got some really good wines to bring in. You test them all out. And also, so you get all that. And then you will also have a $1,000 gift card from the Wood Energy Store, which is your fireplace store in Edmonton. They got a great selection of gas, wood, and electric fireplaces if you're looking for a fireplace. You know what? You want to spice things up a little bit, a little romantic wine and fireplace. This is like a TR, Saturday night every few months. Fireplace, wine, he gets out, he's writing poetry. The opportunities are endless. So that's only at 500. So let's get that up. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. As we welcome to the show, former NHLer, first round selection, 2-time author, is in the Newfoundland Sports Hall of Fame. Stars as a Hitch on Shoresy. TR joins us. TR, how you doing?
Doing all right. It's a busy day, but a great day. And another day about 8 or 9 degrees. Honestly, it doesn't feel like Christmas over this way.
Yeah, you got no sno, obviously. So is it raining still?
Yeah, rain today. I was out back doing some chores. I had a kind of a longer 3/4 length t-shirt on. Yeah, it's wild. I mean, we often get mild weather around this time, but this is absurd.
Yeah, it does seem a little crazy there for sure. So I'm sure you got some big snowfalls coming, but
they'll definitely come. We'll be pounded after Christmas. It always happens. Yeah.
Yeah. So was that a pretty accurate portrayal Saturday night for TR? Lance Romance writing poetry with the wine in the fireplace, eh?
It does happen. I enjoy that. Honestly, I really do. I think it's been a nostalgia at Christmas. If I turned my computer around, you'd see I got a vinyl record player. My favorite Christmas album is Elvis Christmas. And, I got the fireplace going. I'm really close where I live to where I grew up, my parents' house. And it's in kind of a country-ish. My backyard is a river and trees, part of Mount Pearl and St. John. It's tough to get that within the city, but I just happen to be in an older area. So, yeah, my Christmases still contain a lot of nostalgia, not just because of the movies I choose to watch and stuff, but when I say my record player, it's one that I had when I say a kid, but 14, 15.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends are around here, and it's a lot of the same stuff. So Christmas in Newfoundland, being an island that a lot of people are away, and there's a lot of camaraderie, pride being from Newfoundland. Of course, we're ultra proud to be Canadian, but within that realm, we're really proud to be Newfoundlanders. You'll notice in every province there's like a Newfoundland bar that people hang out with in most cities in Canada. So at Christmas, for the most part, everybody comes home. I can't even say that about the George Street Festival or summertime in general, but at Christmas time, if you can get home, that's why I told you I came home for that day when I could in junior. I tried to, but it's a huge, huge thing. In the next 2 weeks, I'm going to see people that I know I won't see till next Christmas.
Okay. Now, because your weather is so hot and cold, you don't really get a lot of ODRs there, do you?
No, right now, there's absolutely nowhere that there's any ice. It's been a couple of days it's dipped down. It was like snowing in the morning, a bit of frost, but no. And we're in a very mild outlier kind of period right now, but it really, in this time of year, it still wouldn't, like, there's lots of Christmases that there's no snow.
Right.
Rare that none has fallen whatsoever yet. But yeah, we do have that experience, but it's always in like late January, February at the earliest. And sometimes the whole year goes by and we don't really have ODRs.
Yeah. So most times, like, you might have ODRs in like January, February. That's about it.
And growing up, it was a little more. There was a little pond up the road, Powers Pond. We would skate on that here and there. Christmas time, it was more about getting some ice time at the rinks. Yeah, like that was a whole thing to me when I came out to play junior and stuff, and being in Red Deer, the first full Christmas I spent, Quinnell was there. We had them. I went to Tri-Cities, but shouldn't say Christmas, winter. I remember really getting into it in Red Deer, 96, 97, because they're all over the place. Again, there was some in Quinnell, but I don't know, for whatever reason, it was cold enough. But, and then after that, spending a lot of Christmas times and winters, I'm out in Alberta a lot. And Ontario a lot, to be honest. And most places in Canada, of course. I love outdoor arenas. I'm not saying they don't exist here. In recent times, when those have caught on, there are a few around that are pretty wild, but they don't get on the go. They're not even a thought of right now. People might be making the boards and stuff, but it's absolutely impossible now, I would say, until a month from now, that you'll even think of that.
Okay. Oilers taking on the Boston Bruins. I know in the Maritimes, there's lots of Bruins fans. Obviously lots of Leafs and Habs fans as well. But the Bruins started the season 8-9-3, and obviously wasn't very good. Since then, they're 9-4. They've still kind of been up and down. Like 6 out of those 13 games, we're only scoring 2 goals. In 4 of their games, they've allowed 25. The other games have been quite good defensively. So I don't know yet maybe what to make of them, or is it just 2 bad games against Winnipeg and Seattle where they got pumped 8-1 and 5-1? If I look at Boston, though, TR, and I just look down the middle tonight, and I see their centers, and I see Edmonton centers, there's a distinct advantage. Now, most nights you would say that, but tonight maybe more than ever. Like, they don't have a number 1 center in Boston. Like, Pavel Zacha is not a top line center. He's probably a number 2, maybe, right? They don't.
Yeah.
Lindholm used to be a low end number 1. I don't see him as that. anymore. How can you take advantage of that when you're just that much better and faster down the middle? How can the Oilers exploit that advantage?
Yeah, and I was thinking the same. And Nashville needs a centerman, but their vulnerability is much more obvious. I don't know if it's just there are a few champions still in Boston, and they tend to have a winner's attitude. They're well coached and have been well coached. Their last 2 or 3, I'm saying, and they got some good leaders, so they're doing something right because they started and people were kind of written them off. But they're Boston, and you got to give them the benefit of the doubt, and they clawed their way back, and now they're a pretty darn good team. How do you exploit it down the middle? I think there's all kinds of ways to do it. I think in Edmonton's case tonight, I think that it's not only being deep down the middle, but they're real fast. Yeah. And I think the Oilers, to me, that's obvious, but I think they can really. You asked about exploiting. That's where I think it can be exploited. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the Oilers have been doing real well on their percentages and taking faceoffs, right? Because that's big. Right,
oh, yeah.
I believe
Edmonton's been very good on faces. Like Nugent Hopkins is 53%, Henrique's over 53.
Henrique, I saw,
55. Yeah. So Derek Ryan's out of the lineup tonight, and he doesn't take that many draws, but when he does, he's pretty good as well. It's 62%. But I just don't know if you can stay in the lineup just because you're good in faceoffs.
Probably not. But in the case, I guess, playing against Boston, and like I said, I know what you were thinking, the position of center, but when it comes down to actual face-off. So if we got a nod on them there anyway, and if we have the puck possession, then you should probably work that in. If we're going to get puck possession even 1 or 2 more times than they are, and analytically it says we are probably more than that, then you try to take advantage of that as well. Now, what do you do when you have the puck? Those things are up to team systems. But for me, I see a lot of speed, and I just see more depth. I'm not only talking experience, I'm talking like two-way play. I think the Oilers are pretty solid. You could say that versus any team, but with Boston, yeah, it is obvious down the middle, and I think that's what they have to do. Use their speed and their experience down there.
You look at, is it easy to, I'm not going to brush off, but do you find it easy to bounce back? Edmonton's played really well defensively. They have a rough night defensively anyway. They still scored 5 goals against Florida. They've actually scored 15 goals in the last 3 games. So when you look at actually more than that, if you look at their offensive play, it's 18. Is it easy to just, kind of get back to being smart defensively? Because that's more just about awareness and work ethic.
I don't know if easy is the word, but I don't think you need to overthink it. Yeah, I think they'll be fine. Because it's a couple of those goals, too. I know a goal's a goal, and not every goal is highlight, and not every goal comes from a system that you devised, and not every goal is because you're well coached or you got a bunch of experience. Some of them, it was a great shot by Reinhart. I mean, come on, are you going to bank it in off the goalie's head? Yeah, some people are all over Skinner for that. I don't know. It's hard for me to blame a goalie. It really is. I know the shot was from behind the line, but he banked it in the back of his cranium. And then a couple other real lucky bounces. I know you could say the same for the Oilers. I know you could. But to me, it was a bit of an outlier game, a bit of a one-off. And I don't think I think it'll be rather seamless. We'll see if I'm right here. But I don't think they'll have a problem getting back into playing good Oiler hockey. No, I don't.
Yeah. They got 3 games in 4 days. Victor Arvidsson comes back in. He hasn't played since November 12th. Terry, what's the hardest part when you come off of a 6-week layoff?
Oh, I think it's timing for sure. Because you can't, you can try to go out there and your cardio, even though you're getting it in different ways, you can go out there and you can work off the ice. You can actually be stronger physically when you come back. It's a little bit of time to work out, right? Like really, if you wanted to be and you're out with an injury, I mean, that part of your body's injured, but you're in the gym a lot. You're doing what you can. And then he's been back skating. So then you start skating and all of that stuff, that cardio comes back. He's a prime of his life as a human being. The physical stuff's going to come back, but I found with anything, I mean, it crosses over into any league I've ever played into other sports. It's always timing. And when you're playing with a team like Edmonton, you may have to go out there with Connor McDavid after not playing with anybody for the last, whatever it was, 6 weeks or how long, that's going to be tough. I don't care who you are. I don't care what era. That's going to be tough. You're stepping back into an NHL lineup with some of the best players that play the game, and you just can't reproduce that any other way but going out and doing it. And with the remedy for that, to me, would just be play easy hockey. Dump her in. You see the guy open, give it to him, and just do the little things. And I'm the other side of all this is that it doesn't take long to come back, but there'll definitely be a transition period. Hopefully, it's not games, it's ships, but you never know.
Jason Gregor, Terry Matthew, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll update you on the month of giving. Also, we are officially 1 week away from the World Juniors, so we'll do a little preview about that. Bo Akey, Oiler fans. What's he going to do? We'll find out next. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Mr. Rooter decorates a gingerbread house.
Wow. What did you do here, Mr. Rooter?
Well, we've got a Jube Jube toilet, complete with an icing-based wax seal. The main water line is licorice, red for hot, black for cold. You got your standard marshmallow hot water tank and a candy cane sewer line. And on the outside, candy corn hose pips. Disgusting, but they get the job done.
To have your Yule clogs fixed, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Didn't get a holiday bonus? At Wolf GMC Buick, we have the bonus you need. Get 0% financing on our most popular trucks like the Sierra half-ton crew cab during GMC's Canada-wide clearance. Or select up to $8,500 on a number of Sierras. If you're looking for heavy duty, we have that too. Get GMC employee pricing on our Sierra HDs, Yukons, and the all-new GMC Hummer EV. And seeing it's the holidays, a $500 bonus on select 2024 and 2025 models. But when the holidays are done, so are these deals. Get to Wolf GMC Buick today.
Get early access to the Bricks Boxing Week blowout. Shop real Boxing Day prices now with deals for every room of your home. Shop Door Crasher specials like a 3-piece stainless steel appliance package for just $18.97. Take up to $3,000 off big screen TVs, up to $2,000 off sectionals, and up to $750 off sofas. Plus, buy more, save more on dining and bedroom furniture. Up to 25% off. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
I'm making my list, checking it twice. And guess what? I'm giving Wilhock beef jerky to everyone, naughty and nice. Because honestly, everyone deserves a taste of Alberta's finest, no matter if they've been bad or good. So this holiday season, skip the chocolates and pass on the turkey. Make sure you're Wilhocking around the Christmas tree with Alberta's best beef jerky. Ho, ho, ho!
Available at Wilhock Beef Jerky in Leduc.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta, new players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet. Every week, all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Does your bank do local? We do. In 2024, Vision Credit Union returned over $34 million in profit shares to our members. How did we do it? Each year, we return about 75% of our profits to Vision members as profit shares, which means that money is invested locally. It's just one of many ways that Vision supports our rural Alberta branch communities. Bank where your community matters. Bank with Vision Credit Union. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Employee pricing is on now at GMC. Get up to $10,104 off select 2024 Sierra 2500 AT4 models. Make loading easier than ever with the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. Make hauling easier than ever with up to 14 available camera views, including transparent trailer view. And make finding tunes easier than ever with a class-leading 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen. Yeah, let's get to work. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona has special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$326. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. It's a final day of auctions for a month of giving. Tomorrow, of course, we have the Pyramid of Giving. And hey, I guess you can, if you want a really good deal, you can get it on either one. Package number one is now to $1,200. That's it. The Canadian Brewhouse Clubhouse package, which is located in South Edmonton. You get the address once you win. It's a huge full gymnasium. You can play volleyball. All the equipment's there: volleyball, basketball, hockey, soccer, tennis ball machine, rock climbing wall. 2 bowling lanes, 3 TVs, arcade game. Can be used for a staff party, team building experience, birthday party, stagettes. You will get $1,000 food and beverage credit. So it's only $1,200. This is an absolute bargain right now. So let's help out the Christmas Bureau. We got that at $1,200. And package number 2, our wine and fireplace. We're not even close there. We're at $750 now from Steve. It comes in, it'll be you and up to 10 people if you want, but I guess there's more wine. If there's 8 of you, 4 couples, 3 couples, you choose. You're going to have Leela Zaniga from Collectio Wine and Spirits. She comes to your home and basically go through the whole process in the evening of learning about wine, bubbles, white, rose, and red, covering old world, new world, all those things. And you'll get a $1,000 gift card from Wood and Energy Store, which is your fireplace store in Edmonton. They have a great selection of gas, wood, or electric fireplaces. Okay, that's only at $750. So let's obviously we got to get that one up as well. It's the final day, so let's get this rolling here. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. If you want to get in on either package. In the meantime, let's talk a little hockey as we go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. You are a commercial owner and you put looking to put solar on your place. Do you know that you can get up to a 30% rebate? Find out how. Go to actionelectrical.net. As Stephen Ellis from Daily Faceoff joins myself and Terry Ryan once again. Steve, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Merry Christmas to you guys.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you. The just came down. So Edmonton Oilers fans, obviously they'll be watching Team Canada. The proud Canadians, they want to watch it. Bo Akey's there, but also Paul Fisher. And he seems to be kind of like the forgotten piece of this Broberg Holloway transaction because they got him as a prospect as well as 3 draft picks. He makes the World Junior team. What can you tell Oiler fans about Paul Fisher?
Well, this is not a guy that's going to be putting up a ton of points on the board, but what he does so well is playing defense. And that's something that, a lot of young defensemen kind of forget about at times, that their job is to actually play defense, but he does it really well. He's, very strong in front of the net. No one can push him around because he's just built very strong, really smart. He's got good gap control. So, he's probably a 3rd pairing defenseman at best. And maybe he's more of just extra guy on this team, but that was a nice little piece who At the time, he had just came off of a very good World Junior Summer Showcase and kind of showed that in his own zone, there's not a lot of guys his age that could do what he could do.
Yeah, so defense first is kind of his calling card. Well, what about his passing, puck moving abilities?
Yeah, like, he's a very simple guy. He's not going to go out there and try and play outside of his comfort zone. You're not going to be seeing a bunch of Evan Bouchard level plays. You're going to see a guy who's just a bit more reserved. And I think a lot of his passes are kind of short range, but he's good at just getting it tape to tape. And again, for a defenseman, that's kind of all you really need. And that's what he does with it.
TR?
Well, speaking of Edmonton hockey and Edmonton fans, they should be real familiar with Miroslav Hlinka playing for the Oil Kings. Now, he's going to be with Czech Republic, and I know I hear that they don't have much of a chance, but of the outliers, what can we expect from them? I know USA, Finland, Sweden, Canada, but I think Czechs are going to be okay. What do you think, Stephen?
I think the Czech team, they're really kind of relying on their goaltending here. And last year, Michael Rabel, man, what a weird term he had. He looked really good against Canada. It was probably the primary reason why they were even able to get to the Final Four in the first place. But he managed to just keep throwing games away, whether it be against Sweden, it didn't seem to matter who they played against. Rabel struggled, but he's back. He's one of the best goalies in the NCAA, and if he plays as good as he can, I think he'll be in good shape. A lot of their offense is going to be surrounding their two guys they have up front, being, again, Hlinka, like you mentioned, the Toronto Maple Leafs prospect, who is likely the number one center, but then Edward Shala, the Seattle Kraken prospect, who he's been very good internationally the last couple of years, can be a bit inconsistent, but at a tournament like this, short hockey, if he's hot, he's good.
Now, speaking of goalies, who's going to be the starter for Canada? Are they going to go back and forth?
It'll be interesting to see what they do here, because Carson Bjarnason is the guy statistically that's been the best for them this year. But Carter George was outstanding at the U18s last year. He doesn't have great numbers, but he also plays on the terrible Owen Sound attack team. And watching him at selection camp last week, I thought he was the best goalie they had there. So I think it'll be really interesting to see what they do tonight against Switzerland, and then, of course, against Sweden and Czechia. We do know they're splitting tonight's game, and then they're going to be alternating the next two nights. I think the goalie that plays against Sweden is specifically going to be the one who's the starting goalie against Finland when the tournament really matters next week.
What type of team is Sweden bringing?
Sweden's bringing a team that's very defensively strong. They've got a really good top three in particular, in Axel Sandin Pellikka, Red Wings prospect, Tom Wielander, Canucks prospect, and Theo Lindstein, Blues prospect. All three of them were on this team last year. They were big pieces. There's no Jonathan Lekaramaki type player who could go out there and score a lot of goals like he did last year when he got MVP, but I think that the fact that they've got a good depth, a lot of guys who play a two-way game, it's a good goaltending, I do think they'll be a difficult team to beat in their own zone.
Stephen Ellis joins us from Daily Faceoff. World Juniors, of course, you got some prelim games going on, and then it officially gets going on Boxing Day. Bo Akey, Steve, makes the team. Oiler fans, you know what, 2 years ago, then he got injured, and it's kind of a write-off year for him. What have you seen in his development coming off the injury this year?
Well, Bo Akey, I've got to watch him a bunch of times in the OHL, and I'd say he's one of the best defensemen in the league. And that's really good, because last year was supposed to be this big season where he would go over and take over for Brant Clark and on Barry and have all these great opportunities. So that injury was a big blow. It was interesting that he kind of was labeled as a lock quite quickly into camp, where he didn't play against U Sports in that first game in selection camp. And usually the guys that sit are the ones that Hockey Canada feels very comfortable with. I believe every player that did sit ended up making the team. And for a guy who hasn't played a ton of hockey, that was definitely very interesting. But Coach Dave Cameron gets to see him a lot, says, you know what, this guy brings a lot to the table, very good with the puck. Brock Faber is the name that some scouts have kind of compared him to. I'm not 100% convinced on that yet, and I think it's just partly because I need to see more of him, but he looks good.
Stephen, Jeff Lachenko started the year in the NHL, played 3 or 4 games, but I think that's valuable experience if you're a junior kid. Started real strong. I believe he has over a point a game. What do we expect from him in this tourney?
I think with Lachenko, he's going to be more of an energy forward. I think he's going to go deeper in the lineup, kind of like what we saw Fraser Minton last year, where he had that NHL experience, but he just played a really good two-way game and brought that speed, and he felt really good in the bottom line role. So that's where he's been practicing. That's where I expect him to be tonight against Switzerland. And I think from there, he's going to go out there, and I think he'll be a very effective fourth line center if that is what ends up happening.
Are you surprised he's playing in that role?
I'd say no. There's just, a lot of good center depth. Berkeley Catton's probably the number one centerman here. They've got Cal Ritchie, another guy that's got NHL experience and who was better at the start of the year. So there's just kind of a lot of good opportunities here for other guys to stand out. But again, it's a role that makes sense for him because he's so good as a two-way player.
Steve Ellis joins us. Steve, what about some players maybe that fans here in North America don't see very often that, specifically from the European teams that you say, hey, keep an eye on these kids?
Well, Axel Sandin Pellikka, like I mentioned, for Sweden, this is a guy that looks like he could potentially become just the second player in tournament history to win top defenseman 2 times. So it's very rare for that because most guys that win it are 19 years old, but he did it last year at 18. With Finland, Konsta Helenius is a guy I really like. He's actually playing for the Rochester Americans, but last year he played at the World Championship, the World Juniors, and the U18s. Again, something that is so rare for anybody that's 18 years old. And I'd say those are unfortunately kind of the 2 teams. This is not a very strong group compared to the last couple of years. And obviously no Russia means we're missing a lot of talent there, but it really feels like the 3 teams to watch are Canada, USA, and Sweden.
This tournament overall, when you look at kind of, the young teams, and you mentioned it's not as strong, and that might reflect in this coming draft class, although there's not a lot of there's a lot of drafted players, not soon to be drafted players in this tournament, Stephen, but you've been covering this for a long time. Is there any reason why we see, a cycle where all of a sudden one team can be way much better? Is there just that much different from one birth year to the next? And have you ever looked into why that is?
Yeah, it's funny. I've asked because, Finland in particular has 2 really terrible birth years coming up, 07 and 08, just really weak teams.
Really?
A lot of it comes you look at North American teams, it's always going to be high quality competition. The Americans, at the very least, they got that NTDP program that's always so strong. So you can always expect Canada and USA to be good. When it comes to Europe, it seems like there's no real formula for that. It is kind of at random. And I've asked people at different hockey federations, and they're like, sometimes the parents with the athletic genes were just busier that year.
That's their answer? Huh, interesting. Who knows?
I've heard an NHL GM has told me that specifically.
Really? Wow. So kind of curious. Is there a player, what's your expectations of McKenna? Right, I remember Connor McDavid at 16 didn't dominate this tournament, right? Now McKenna's older, he's a late birthday, so he's 17. But what's your expectations for Gavin McKenna in this tournament?
I guess it really matters what his usage is like. We saw him at selection camp; he was playing top 6, but in this case, it looks like he's playing the 13-4 role. Now, we saw Connor Bedard start that way in that one tournament that he won and dominated. So It does, whatever. We'll see what happens. And being a 13 forward in a lot of cases means they'll just throw you with anybody and you'll get to play all these great opportunities. Gavin McKenna is the best player on Team Canada this year. I hope they treat him like that. I'm not 100% convinced they will, but he's got the most skill of anybody. He might be the best player in this entire tournament. We're seeing what he's doing, obviously, this year in the WHL. Let him run. Let him run free. Let's see what he could do.
So when you say he's the best, why wouldn't he then be in their top line? Is it seniority? What is it? Is Cameron we don't think he's responsible defensively? Why is he, not there to start if he's clearly the best player?
Well, there are some questions on Dave Cameron's roster construction to begin with. And part of that is Michael Nisa is on pace for 62 goals in the OHL as a draft eligible. He didn't make the team. Sam Dickinson's on pace for 40 goals as a defenseman, and he's a healthy scratch tonight. And that's not because they're just trying to keep him rested. Actually, he's been practicing as the 8th defenseman this whole time. So there's some interesting roster construction decisions. But when it comes to McKenna, it does feel like they're just trying to give these older guys seniority because watching camp last week, McKenna was one of the best players start to finish.
Yeah. Wow. Never a good sign if that's the case. Seniority, schmorty, just play the best players. Who cares? TR, you got anything else?
Well, I was going to ask you, talking about prospects, how about 2025 top prospect James Hagan with the U.S. team? Is he going to get the same treatment, or you think we're going to see him wheeling a lot?
of all the top prospects in this year's draft, he's going to be the one that's probably going to get the most prominence because he plays at Boston College with Ryan Leonard and Gabe Perreault. They're a line. I don't think they all live together, but they're very close. They're all really good friends. So they're going to try to keep those guys together as much as possible there. But I think Hagens has a potential to go out there and be one of the most productive players in this tournament. I saw him in person a lot the last couple of years, and then I just saw him a few days ago at the U.S. camp. He looks stronger, he looks faster, and he's got a better shot. So this is a guy that looks like Jack Hughes. I think a lot of people are going to open their eyes and say, whoa, this guy's legit. This guy's a real threat for number one.
Steve, great stuff, man. Enjoy the Christmas break, and then enjoy, of course, the World Juniors, where I know you'll be right on top of it.
Yeah, I'm going to Ottawa in a few days. Looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Have a great day.
Yeah, see you guys.
That's Stephen Ellis from dailyfaceoff.com. Guy, he studies all the prospects. Trust me, he uncovers so many of them. It's amazing how much hockey he watches, and not just like the major junior levels. He'll watch at all levels. When we return, big news in the racing world. We'll get to that. And we got to we'll update you on our monthly giving and more on the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNugget, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area, prices exclude delivery.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Santa sweat, dripping on the tree, due to that new furnace that you got from Legacy.
Legacy Heating and Cooling wants to help you prepare for Santa. A nice warm stop during the cold night is the gift you give him. And Legacy can help with no payments and no interest for 1 year on your festive new furnace, because warm homes get better presents. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Everybody now, Santa sweat, this is really weird. Santa perspiration.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab elevation models. With Sierra's 13.4-inch diagonal premium GMC infotainment system with Google built-in compatibility, available off-road package with hill descent control, plus an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine, you can take the road less traveled and try new things, like fishing or whitewater rafting. I should have gone fishing. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta, new players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet. Every week, all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Merry Christmas from Anu Gas Compression Consulting in Wetaskiwin. The management and staff would like to wish you a peaceful and happy holiday season. They thank you for your patronage this past year and look forward to seeing you again in 2025. Season's greetings from everyone at Anu Gas.
You know, this year I can't decide what to work on for my New Year's resolution. See my confidence, my appearance, or my general happiness.
Why not improve all 3 by finally addressing your hair loss? Hi, I'm Dr. Vancelia. Receding hairlines and bald spots can chip away at your self-image, make you look older, and feel unattractive. Let's discuss your options for regaining a full natural head of hair and make this the year you get your mojo back. Book a free first consultation today at drvancelia.com.
The James Insurance Group, serving East Central Alberta, would like to wish you a happy and safe holiday. Enjoy your time with friends and family and take in all the season has to offer. Merry Christmas and a very happy New Year from the entire team at the James Insurance Group.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
3:45. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. It is Pyramid of Giving. Been a little bit slow today, but hey, it's our final day of auctions. Tomorrow's the Pyramid of Giving. Today's the month of giving. Last one, we got two great packages. $1,200 right now, an absolute steal on the Canadian Brewhouse Clubhouse package that you can't buy anywhere. It's not available to the public. It's a private little place. You don't even know where the address is. You couldn't even look it up. And inside of it, it's a full gymnasium that's got all the amenities: volleyball, basketball, hockey, soccer, tennis ball machine, rock climbing wall. There's 2 bowling lanes, 3 TVs, arcade games. So you could have a staff party, team building experience, birthday party, stagettes. You also get $1,000 food and beverage credit right now. So it's only at $1,200. So let's get that up, 833-401-1440. And package 2, we're not even close to face value. So you're going to, first of all, you get a $1,000 gift card to go to Wood and Energy store, your fireplace store. You get a great selection of gas, wood, or electric fireplaces. And you'll then have the wine, because, hey, who doesn't like wine and fireplace? You will have an evening fill, up to 10 people if you like. But if you have like 4 couples or 8 people, whatever, there's just a little bit more wine for you. So however many you like, Lila Zuniga from Collectio Wine and Spirits will come, and it's an educational evening learning about different wines, bubbles, white, rose, red, old world, new world, all of that. So you have that one evening together, and then also get the fireplace, or use it towards a fireplace, or any of the other amenities that you would like at the Wood and Energy store. And we're currently only at $750 on that. So let's get this up. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. As let's get racing now. Big news, just breaking, actually. The Racing Report brought to you by Can Torque, where they offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Learn more at cantorque.com. As once again in studio, Colin Livingston joins us. And of course, Colin, the big news, it's been rumored and talked about for a while, but Sergio Perez out.
I think the bigger news, you and I need to go halfers on that package with the brew house for that fireplace. Man, it is cold in here.
The brew house is one with the fireplace and separate package.
But we need to go on that fireplace package. Put that over in the corner. There's it's blowing on my feet. It'd be so nice in here. Little ambiance.
I like it colder. I don't like it hot. So
Well, we can get one of those electric ones that looks like fire.
True, but true. It would look good.
Yeah, long overdue in my opinion. I mean, you never want to see somebody lose their ride. You never want to see somebody lose their job. But obviously, it's really easy to focus the blame on Checo, that he drove poorly. He didn't have the results. The biggest decision that Red Bull had to make was what it was going to cost to pay him out of his next 2 years of the contract, factored in with the amount of sponsor dollars he brings, and kind of counter that with what they can gain with potential new sponsors and another driver that could potentially help them win the Constructors' Championship. While the blame is all getting lumped at Sergio Perez's feet,
yes,
the blame really needs to go to Christian Horner.
100%.
He's the guy that signed the contract. He's the guy that kept him in the car. And these are the decisions that are going to end up costing Red Bull reportedly upwards of 75 million euro over the next 2 years. Like,
it's good money for him, my man.
So what Perez basically dug in for was he wanted his salary plus his portion of the sponsor dollars that are going to be lost because he's not going to be in a race car for 2 years. Couple that with the loss of the prize pool from the constructors' winnings that they could have, and Christian Horner has just pillaged the bankroll of the Red Bull F1 team, and nobody seems to be pointing a finger, and nobody really seems to be making the connection that it was his decision with Helmut Marko's input that really led to this situation.
Yeah, the amount of money that it's cost them, not to mention that on the Bible. What about all the money they lost in the Constructor Series?
Bingo. Yeah, you put all that together.
Yeah.
And this is all at the foot of the management. Now, Helmut Marko is really quick at pointing like Sergio Perez's results is what cost us well, you guys made the decisions to put that guy in the car. You guys made that decision to keep him. When do these guys ever look in the mirror and say, you know what? we made a lot of bad decisions and maybe we should not be here, or maybe, we need to have some kind of oversight. But these guys never look in the mirror. But, with Checo being pulled out, Liam Lawson was already named to move up from the V-Carb to be partnered with Max Verstappen. I think it's only a matter of time before they announce that Isaac Hadjar is going to move up from F2 to run beside Yuki in the second V-Carb.
Okay. Now, do they have a new name for that team now?
I think they're going back to this. So this is the third name change in like 2 years, but they're going to Racing Bulls.
Racing Bulls. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think Racing Bull, like the Bulls, is kind of short for a word that we can't actually say here. But the whole thing is just silly.
You see, Eddie Jordan, who is a former team principal, he's going out, and there's lots of guys who express their opinion on it, but not very happy with Muhammad and what's going on at FIA. Do you think this like when people in the sport like that, fairly respected guy, come out and says, "Hey, we're off the rails here," is essentially what he said. Does it actually do anything?
It's going to get a lot of people talking. It's going to get his attention, and that's the thing. The world of Formula One specifically, there's a lot of talking heads, and there's a lot of people like Ralph Schumacher, Juan Montoya, Jacques Villeneuve, Martin Brundle. They end up saying things just to be controversial. They say things so that they stir up engagement. And Eddie's one of those guys, Eddie Jordan. But this comment in particular is correct, because the FIA is a dumpster fire right now. And basically all Eddie's saying is, look, I've known you for 35 years. I consider you a friend. And I know that by speaking out, it can cost me my access to future Grands Prix, but you need to get this under control. Stop with these silly, stop firing your race directors.
Yeah.
Stop with these crazy decisions. And as they're doing all this, now they're focused on, we need to make the swearing penalty even more severe. Like, I want to swear just to prove a point, but then that gets me in trouble. But you can't be serious that this is where you're worried about how your drivers are speaking, who are, again, most of the drivers that are in Formula One, English isn't their first language. Verstappen, he speaks German, he speaks Dutch. English is third. Like, the words don't mean the same when you've learned them later.
Totally.
And even if they say it, it's a word. Like, it's far more insulting and it's far more disastrous to me when a driver uses his car as a weapon than worrying about somebody dropping an F-bomb or something like that. Like, this is not where the focus needs to be. It needs to be on improving the on-race or on-track product. It needs to be on, improving fan engagement, getting more people into the grandstands and keeping them there. We're not so worried about, I don't think I don't think this is in the top 100 concerns of what F1 should be having.
Man, there's lots that happened this past weekend, with Verstappen hitting Piastri, on the first lap, and that it screws him over. But if I could go back, this is a quote, if I could go back 3 years, I would have gone somewhere else. Unfortunately, that's how it is. This was a big mistake.
Yeah.
Valtteri Bottas.
Yep.
On signing with Sauber.
That was, to me, that was the quote of the last 2 weeks.
But how can he be surprised here? Like, what was he thinking when he went there?
Before he got there, the team was actually pretty good. So before they were rebranded from, Kick Sauber, they ran as Alfa Romeo. This is where, Kimi Räikkönen finished his career. This is where Charles Leclerc got his, that's where he started before he jumped up to Ferrari. They weren't great, but they were a solid mid-pack team. And then all of a sudden, with the handover to Audi and the difference in funding and the difference, and once Fred Vasseur left the team, he's basically saying it went down fast. And for a driver to be that candid is kind of unique. But yeah, I thought that was awesome for him to say, especially because of the way they handled the dismissal, is that, he was told for years that he was going to be part of the rebuilding. He was going to be the anchor to help transition from, Sauber to Audi. And then they just punted him. So for him to be that blunt to say, the last 3 years were a mistake, and if I could go back, I never would have come here. That's a sledgehammer right to the, right to the feelings of that team.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Now, a few other things as we wrap up. We know what's happening in all the changes in the offseason. So there'll be lots of guys in new places next year. Lewis Hamilton,
that's a big one.
That's a huge one, of course. Bottas is going to be a reserve driver for Mercedes.
Yeah, that was announced this morning.
Yeah, but you look at Lewis Hamilton and him going to Ferrari now. Where is he going to be more competitive than he was at Mercedes? And not that Mercedes wasn't competitive, but like, can he do more in that car than you think Carlos Sainz did?
Based on Fred Vasseur came out yesterday or today, and said the 2025 car is going to be completely different from the 24 car. He said, We've been 5 years under this new regulation. There will be no more than 1% from the old car going to this new one. So that in itself says that there's going to be some unknowns. If you assume that what they've learned up to this point has led to a monumental change, that they maintain or increase their competitiveness, you put Lewis in that car, yeah, they're going to do some damage for sure. And realistically, it should be between Ferrari and McLaren. Just my hunch. I think Red Bull and Mercedes are going to fight for the third position. But yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see for sure.
What about F1? Anything that we should be looking for next season that's going to be different at all? Not F1, sorry, in Indy.
Oh, IndyCar. Yeah, not a lot of big changes. I was really fortunate last week. Obviously missed the show here. I was down in Indianapolis. Got to spend some time with my friends over at Andretti Autosport. Got to tour their.
Are they still annoyed at how they kind of got screwed out of F1?
There is the thing is that they're still partnered with Cadillac without Michael Andretti's involvement. It was once Michael pulled his name off and agreed to step away from the Formula One program. He's, in his release, he said that he's stepping away from the day-to-day racing operations and is kind of take a backseat role. There's, the guys in Indianapolis, or the guys that are part of the IndyCar, the Indy Lights, the Formula E team, won't really have anything to do with the Formula One program. There's a bit of crossover that they're building a brand new building in Indy. It's really interesting how the whole thing falls out, because Andretti by far and away has the best operation. Not just talking about how they perform, but their building is unlike anybody else's. The only thing that I've ever seen close was Ganassi's, and it's a fraction of what Andretti's is. Andretti's moving into this new, massive, state-of-the-art, purpose-built thing, and McLaren has already bought the Andretti building, so that's where they're going to recycle that later on this year. Big changes, not really. I think the big change is going to come at the end of the year, like the end of the 25 season, when they have to reevaluate where their engine package is going to come from, who the engine suppliers are going to be, and go from there.
All right. Well, Colin, have yourself a great Christmas and New Year's break. We'll talk to you in 2025.
Same to the Gregors, Tracy and Beckett, and enjoy your time away.
You betcha. Let's get to the con, man. Oh, by the way, we're up to 1,500 now. Who bid that, Cons?
Sean came in with a bid.
Sean's at 1,500. That's the fireplace and wine package. All right. And I'm going 1,500 on the brew house package, because that's too good to pass up. So I got that at 15. So we're at 1,500 on each one. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. We'll tell you what they are after the con man and a sports 1440 update, brought to you by Fountain Tire. They ensure that 100% of their vehicles have properly aligned wheels, because wheel alignment extends the life of your tire, which lowers the carbon footprint of your vehicle. Read more about Fountain Tire's ESG initiatives on fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Oilers back in action tonight, hosting the Boston Bruins. Puck drop just after 7 o'clock. Pregame coverage gets going at 6 o'clock here on Sports 1440 with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson. Victor Arvidsson does make his return with that. Matthias Janmark will center the fourth line with Perry and Skinner, and Derek Ryan comes out of the lineup. Elsewhere around the NHL, you got the Flames and the Sens. Canucks taking on the Golden Knights. Kraken in Chicago. Flyers host the Kings. Blues taking on the Lightning, and the Jackets hosting the Devils. In the NFL, Week 16 kicks off tonight with an AFC West battle. The Chargers host the Broncos. That starts at 6:15 in the association. Raptors taking on the Nets. Tip-off set for 5:30. PWHL action tonight, 6 o'clock. The Minnesota Frost hosting the Ottawa Charge. And from the majors, Canadian pitcher Mike Soroka signing a one-year deal with the Washington Nationals. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions and talk about the Boston Bruins with Jimmy Murphy. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
You don't know what awaits you on the road to come, but with the 2025 XC90 from Volvo of Edmonton, you'll have the versatility to take on whatever life throws at you. The new XC90, a luxurious SUV with seating for up to 7, boasts newly upgraded body and wheel design. It's the perfect choice to drive into the coming year. And right now, you'll save $4,500 and lease from 1.49% on all in-stock 2025 XC90s. Volvo Cars Edmonton. VolvoCarsEdmonton.com, 1205 101 Street Southwest.
3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Let's rock. Edmonton's biggest New Year's Eve party is at On the Rocks.
Featuring Edmonton's #1 party band, the Barkels.
The Broncos. Get ready to dance the night away as we ring in 2025 in style at OTR.
Tickets include a 3-course meal, party favors, and bubbly at midnight.
This party sells out every year.
Oh, and if you don't have anyone to kiss at midnight, Marco is always available.
OTR's New Year's Eve party.
Tickets at ontherock.yeg.com.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price starting at $1 plus tax for a small. It's great if you love great tasting coffee. $1 small premium roast coffee every single day. Must be McCafe. Plus tax at participating restaurants in Canada. Excludes delivery.
Introducing the Female Super League. Female hockey is on the rise with more women playing the game than ever. Join us as we pave the way for the future of women's hockey. The FSL is more than a game. It's a movement and an experience for the motivated female athlete. Teams will compete in a showcase-style format featuring consistent interprovincial competition. Come be part of the journey as the 2024-25 season unveils a 12U division, as well as the launch of a groundbreaking progressive body-checking 14U division. For more information, visit femalesuperleague.com.
Hockey is back. And Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta? New players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet. Every week, all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Checking off your gift list can go more smoothly when you give smoothies. From now till December 31st, buy a $30 Booster Juice gift card and gift yourself with any regular size smoothie for free. Try the new salted caramel smoothie made with vanilla oat beverage, vanilla frozen yogurt, and decadent caramel. It pairs magically with the salted caramel booster ball, bursting with score toffee bites, cinnamon, maple syrup, cashew butter, and more. Happiest of holidays from Booster Juice. Download the Booster Rewards app today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. The Canada-wide clearance is on now at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on a 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Elevation. See more at gmcoffers.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Hey, Deck, we'll do Sherrod Power. Just after 4 o'clock, welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. It is game day on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. You can get involved, 833-401-1440, Texas in our inbox. 833-401-1440. Ewell, your partner in power since 1975. They're wishing all of you a very Merry Christmas and all the best in 2025. 2025. Do you actually know in the NHL coming up, they're doing like the first, like your all quarter century team. So players who played from 99-2000 season until right now. And you had to pick, I was lucky enough, I got asked to submit. So you pick the 6 forwards, 4 defense, and 2 goalies from 2000 until now. Like obviously McDavid and Draisaitl, like those are pretty easy, right? Al Shemsky, right? Brian Smith. Anyone else who are obvious to you? Defense was interesting. Do you put a guy who played 1 year but was really, really good for 1 year, went all the way to the Stanley Cup final? Would you? Or does he have to play longer? What do you think? Who would you have as your 4 defensemen? That'd be my question. 833-401-1440. The 4 defensemen that you would have. I can't say mine yet because it doesn't come out until January 30th for the Edmonton Oilers, but I'd be curious who you would have as your 4 defensemen. Keep in mind, some would say you got to play more than 1 year. Some would say, no, just at the peak. Who was it? Let me know. 833-401-1440. I'd be curious who the fans would have as their top 4 defensemen of the 21st century. So we'll get to that. But first, let's get to the lineup report brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. You can hit the trails this winter and the waves next summer. The team at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine, they're home for an ATV for just $50 bi-weekly, or cruise the open water next summer for as low as $105 bi-weekly right now at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. The Edmonton Oilers, a little bit of juggling to the lineup. Why? Because Victor Arvidsson returns for the first time since the 12th of November. He is going to start the game anyway on a line with Henrique and Brown. You will have Nugent Hopkins with McDavid and Hyman, Draisaitl, Kapanen, and Podkolzin. And then the 4th line will be Corey Perry, Matthias Janmark down the middle, and Jeff Skinner. Derek Ryan will be the healthy scratch tonight. On defense, Nurse, Stetcher, Ekholm, Bouchard, Kulak, and Emberson, and Stu Skinner will be the starting goaltender. Meanwhile, for the Bruins, you'll have Geeky, Zaka, and Pasternak. Lindholm will center Marchand and Brazeau. He is huge. You got Charlie Coyle with Wallstrom and Frederick, and then Beecher, McLaughlin, and Kastelik. On the back ends, Zadorov and McAvoy. Jordan Osterley and Carlo Lori and Peake and Jeremy Swayman will get the start. Now, Wallstrom, of course, who was the 11th pick, 1 pick taken after Evan Bouchard in the 2018 draft. Kid from Boston, was claimed on waivers after the Islanders put him on waivers, and he'll make his Bruins debut tonight. He was pretty fired up about it, of course. Also, no Hampus Lindholm. He's actually got injured the same night as Victor Arvidsson did on the 12th, and he's still out. And in that time, so when he went out, he was playing 21 minutes a night. So you're like, okay, who's going to take over? McAvoy, really, his minutes have remained the same. He's just around 24 minutes a night. It really hasn't changed. You know who's taken most of his minutes? Jordan Osterley. Remember him, Oiler fans? Well, Jordan Osterley tonight is going to be his 383rd NHL game. You know what? He's bounced around, but he's stuck in the league. He started this year in the American League. But when he got called up, he played 3 games that got banged up. And since then, he comes back in the month of December. He's playing just under 19 minutes a night for the Bruins. God, I love stories like that. Like Jordan Osterley has really carved out a pretty solid NHL career for a guy who many people thought was just maybe going to be a fringe defenseman. Coming up on game 400. He's playing 19 minutes a night right now. Like, this is the best team he's ever played on. Of course, he came up in the decade of darkness with the Oilers. Then he went to Chicago when this was past their time as a Cup team. He was in Arizona. That was the year they wouldn't have made the playoffs if it wasn't for the stoppage of the season. And then 24 teams made it, and they surprised and then actually won a round after getting in the play-in round. So he actually has played technically in the playoffs, but that team wasn't very good. If you look at the regular season, this is the best team he's ever played on. He's playing 19 minutes a night. I love stories like that because it's unexpected and really good for him. So we'll see. Text flying in on the four defensemen. Hey guys, I got Promer, Ekholm, Gator, and Bouchard from Coach Nordy. Jason Smith, Steos, Ekholm, and Bouchard from Spruce Grove Corey. Guys, Smith, Ekholm, Surrey, and I hate to say Pronger. Never would have been in Game 7, though, without him from Brian in E-Town. Guys, I have Jason Smith, Darnell Nurse, Evan Bouchard, Eric Brewer from Propane Pimp. Lots Ekman, then Clefbaum, Larson, Jason Smith from Marty. Clefbaum, Ekholm, Bouchard, and Nurse. Can't take the rake, not because of the one season, but just the Exodus from Norman Dunrow. The Human Rake. God, still one of my favorite monikers ever. Classic. Hey, guys, Nurse, Pronger, Clefbaum, and Larson from Chalmskers. So, yeah, lots of different opinions. I like it. I don't mind it. Eric Brewer's, we forget Eric Brewer, he played for Team Canada in 2002 on the Olympic team. Yeah, probably might have forgot him. He could definitely be in that mix. Jeez, now that I look at it. It's a good one. So, to me, longevity in something like this matters a bit if you play at a high level. So, the six forwards, I think everybody's got McDavid and Draisaitl. There's no point even putting those two in. Mentioning them. Everybody has them. I'd be kind of curious who the other four are. Goaltenders, I think to me, it's kind of straightforward, but maybe not for others. So we'll see. It'll come out. There'll be some fun debate on it. January 30th. That is going to come out. Gregor, did you say the Oilers haven't won at home in how long? Well, technically, they haven't beat Boston in Edmonton since October 18th, 2018, over 6 years. Now, they've only played 4 times since then because obviously they didn't play during the 21 season when they were in the Canadian division. And then the year before that, they were scheduled to play here. But then it was after, Boston was supposed to come here in late March. And then obviously everything got shut down. So it's kind of a weird stat because that month of October 2018, the home team won both times. Boston won at home on October 11th. The Oilers won at home on October 18th. It's the last time a home team has won in the head-to-head meeting. The last 8 games between these two teams, Oilers 4-0 in Boston, Boston 4-0 in Edmonton. Now, 2 times they did win in overtime, 6-5 and 2-1, but they still won. So the home team has not been able to get a win for a while on home ice. Hey, Greg, I'm just joining. What are the packages today? Well, hey, a good question. I'll let you know, Paul. So there's 2. They're both at $1,500 right now. So we got some room to move here because we always love to get face value. So package number 1 is the Canadian Brewhouse Clubhouse package, which is it's located in South Edmonton. It's a private place. And this is not something you can just rent, but it has a full gymnasium and it's got any sport you want to play in there, volleyball, basketball, soccer. They got a tennis ball machine. Maybe you want to play some tennis, rock climbing wall. There's 2 bowling lanes, 3 TVs, arcade games, floor hockey. You can play there as well. The arcade and TV games is set up. It's unreal. There's also $1,000 food and beverage credit. So you come in, you can have, maybe want a staff party, a team building event, a birthday party. What about a stag or stagette? Well, actually, 40th birthday party. The guys who won it last year, that's what they are bid on it last year. They had that and they loved it. So it's there's a seating area where so if you're having it for young kids or whatever, they're all playing in the gym. There's a seating area with a glass, so you're on the other side of the glass just watching, enjoying it. So that's currently at now. Darren comes in at $2,000 for that one. All right, Darren, there we go. And package number 2 is the wine and fireplace package. We're at $1,500 with Sean. And this is, you get $1,000 gift card from Wood and Energy Store, your fireplace store in Edmonton. So gas, wood, electric fireplace. They got all other amenities as well. And so that's just one of them. That's $1,000 for sure. Then you get the fun-filled educational evening hosted by Leela Zaniga from Collectio Wine and Spirits. She comes to your house and she'll bring bottles of wine, and you'll go through all the tasting and sampling of bubbles and white, rose reds, old world, new world. So you learn a lot about wine. If you're a wine aficionado, this is like a great fun evening to have with couples, whatever. You can have a maximum of 10 people, but if you have less, well, then you have more wine. Your wine per 60 is better, shall we say. Wine per person. So Sean has that right now at $1,500. So if you want to get in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. And that Brewhouse package is a bargain. I think I might get bitten back in on that one. So we'll see. We got a few other bids coming in, and now we're up to $1,600 on the wine package. So there you go. I like it. Let's take a quick break. When we return, we will continue on. We'll hear from Jimmy Murphy talking about the Boston Bruins. Since the coaching change, they're 9-4. What differences have we seen from Joe Sacco as far as strategy, approach, maybe line combinations? We'll find out. Because even under Sacco, they're still being like they played great for some, and then they got blown out. They got pumped in Winnipeg 8-1. They got pumped in Seattle 5-1. So maybe just some off nights. The other time, Swayman's got some good numbers. His overall numbers still aren't great, but they seem to be trending in the right direction, at least. So we'll find out what's up with the Bruins from Jimmy Murphy next on the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
They are nice, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Are you watching the interest rates these days? Of course you are. Paying less interest leaves money in your pocket. That's why St. Albert Dodge is happy to tell you that right now they have 0% financing on virtually all new 2024 models. Hundreds to choose from: Jeep Compass, Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, and Wagoneer, Dodge Durango, and Hornet, Ram 1500, 2500, 3500, all with 0% financing. Why pay interest? Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNugget, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area, prices exclude delivery.
Vimy and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you are a student athlete interested in growing as both a person and a hockey player, visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.ca to register for a free shadow day. Beginner or an experienced player, these programs are designed to nurture and develop your skills in a positive and supportive environment. Vimy and Donnan help student athletes pursue their passion for hockey while achieving their academic goals. Register for a Vimy and Donnan Hockey Shadow Day today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price starting at $1 plus tax for a small. It's great if you love great tasting coffee. $1 small premium roast coffee every single day. Must be McCafe. Plus tax at participating restaurants in Canada. Excludes delivery.
Worried about your debt but don't know how to deal with it? My name is Parveen Middleton, and I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I talk with people about debt every day, and I understand how stressful your situation can be. During a free consultation, I can show you how to lower your payments and become debt-free. I can offer you immediate relief from that overwhelming stress. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
The wrapping paper is coming off, the gift box is opening, and the crowd goes wild.
When they want sports in their stocking, you'll find gifts that score big at St. Albert's Source for Sports. From jerseys and accessories to all kinds of skates and everything hockey, it's here, alongside expert advice from pros who know sports. Put the best sports brands under the tree for less with St. Albert's Source for Sports, your source for hockey and the best sports gifts for over 35 years.
Oodle Noodle Origins.
In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle. It feels like the cost of everything has been going up and up and up. That's why Encore's electricity rates are getting really low. With our rates falling lower, you can feel carefree about your bill. A low rate means lower stress. Switch to a new fixed-rate electricity plan with Encore by Epcor and save. Get the lowdown and stay carefree at encore.epcor.com/lowdown. Customers are free to purchase natural gas or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For a list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822 toll-free.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers score and win to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave in 118th.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Day Oilers hosting the Boston Bruins. First of 3 and 4 games at home for the Edmonton Oilers tonight against Boston, San Jose on Saturday, and then the Ottawa Senators and Mr. Allmark come to town on Sunday. They are red hot, and you know what? The Sens will be playing 3 and 4 as well. They're in Calgary tonight, then they're in Vancouver on Saturday night, and into Edmonton on Sunday. So, the Oilers playing back to back against a team who's also playing back-to-back and doing a little bit more travel. So in that theory, you would say that Edmonton has an advantage for sure. So we'll see for sure. Gregor, wine per 60. I like it. Well, yeah. Well, hey, you know what? You got to try to, you use the numbers everybody understands right now. We're a sports show, so tied into that. I like it. The Juice has Schmid, Nurse, Davidson, and Larson, the all-pint team. Hey, guys, Brewer was a forgotten gem from Marty. You know what? Pretty solid player. I'll admit I was a little surprised when he made that team, but it's not always just the best of the best. You have different roles to fill on a team, and that can work out, especially on defense. Wins an Olympic gold medal, so good for him. It's really good. TR is back with us as we wait to hear from Jimmy Murphy. And TR, I was asking the question for Oilers defense in the 2000s. If you had to list the top 4 defensemen, now Pronger only played 1 year, but he did play a year, and they had a pretty good season, right? There's Sheldon Surrey, there's Jason Smith, there's Nurse, Ekholm, Larson, Bouchard, Clefbaum. whom I met, Jason Smith, of course, captain for a long time. If you had to pick the 4 top defensemen of the 21st century thus far for Edmonton, who would your 4 be?
Well, Connor for sure. I would pick Sheldon, being my buddy. I'm biased, but his time there, he was injured for a lot of it. I don't think it really came to fruition. I love Jason Smith as a player. It's going to be hard for me to look at any list with the Oilers after their glory years and not include him, just as a person, as a player. He always had real team first things to say. So I'd put him there. I don't mention him much. I really, really like Ekholm. We're always talking about other D that are maybe, playing their good play is sporadic, or maybe they're down, or a guy like CC last year, or Nurse at times, guys that are on the, but I just really liked him before he got to Edmonton, and it did nothing but solidify. Top 4 since, I don't know, but he'd be in my consideration for sure. I must be forgetting somebody big here. Strudwick. And as I laugh, listen to me with my 8 games. I don't mean it like that, but I just went to blurt out Jason Strudwick, and no, I don't mean him, even though I love Struds. Hit me here with some other options. Nurse is obviously an option. Bouchard.
Yep.
Of the 2, I'd take Nurse. I know what a lot of people are going to think I'm nuts, but I'm just going at overall how long he's played there. I think he's way underrated when it comes to offense. I think it's the way he skates around. He looks a bit awkward, but he's got a definitely better hockey IQ than he lets on, than it looks. And I think it's just a lot to deal with, all that media and fan pressure, and continually go out. Right now he's in an upswing. He'll have some downs, but overall, I love Nurse, and I like the fact he drops his gloves once in a while.
Yeah, it definitely has a different element there. Surrey obviously could do that for sure. You look at, Clefbaum was, it's unfortunate he got banged up. He was pretty good defenseman for many years. I think Darnell Nurse gets a pretty big, takes a lot of bullets in this town. I think Nurse is probably a lot better, than people think. If I had to tell you, defensemen in Edmonton in the 2000s who scored at least 10 goals in a season multiple times, you know how many people are on that list? I'd ask a defenseman in a season to score 10 goals multiple times. In the 2000s, 25 years, there's 2.
Wow. Really? Only 2?
Yes. Bouchard's done it twice. Nurse has done it 4 times.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's something to be said, right? Even when people were talking like Team Canada, right? And everybody was talking about Bouchard, for good reason, I might have for good reason. This guy's a great player. I really don't think it's outlandish to include Nurse in any conversation like that. I just don't. And he does take a lot of bullets. It's the market. And whenever you're in a market like Edmonton and you're there so long, and for the numbers he puts up, again, he looks kind of awkward. I remember watching him like in junior and stuff. I heard so much, and it took me a few games to go like, what? This is the guy they're talking about? But then you start to see he makes the right play, and often in his own end. Like, you just got to be tough. It's a big resume in Edmonton. He hasn't just done this for 2 or 3 years. He's been there a long time. And he works his hardest, and he takes a lot of hits and gives a lot of hits. And to me, there's just a lot of wear and tear. He's weathered, but he's still playing great. And there's something to be said for longevity combined with that kind of offensive output. I did not know, and that just solidifies my pick then. He's in the top 4.
Oh, all right. A few texts coming in. Hey, guys, what about Ryan Whitney? He was on a tear. Hey, Whit would be the first guy to tell you no. That would not be he would not be up on that list for certain. He did have a little short stint here, yes. Unfortunately, the ankles became an issue for him, no question. But we'll see where it goes from there. We will actually I had a one-on-one conversation with Darnell Nurse earlier today, so we'll play that in the 5 o'clock hour later on. just talk about his season. You know what is he has been really good for Edmonton. And, I asked him, he plays with himself, but he just said, you know what, I have to play aggressive and I need to play aggressive all the time. But that doesn't mean running around, right? There's assertive and aggressive. And Nurse seems to be much more playing aggressive, but under control aggressive. Does that make sense to you?
Hey, honestly, that makes a lot of sense. And right from the horse's mouth, I heard Dave Manson back in the day. He was in the NHL when I got there. Dave Manson. And I remember him saying that in not exactly the same way. And I'd be paraphrasing, but I remember him saying that, like about his development. And I mean, I was a sponge with these guys. You might not see it from games played, but any chance that I had to go out for a bite to eat or a dinner or on the plane or whatever, I would always try to go next to these guys and listen to them. And that's why I was there. They were very honest with me that I was there for that reason, to learn. I was getting sent back to junior at the deadline. I only played 4 games in the first 4 months, but there was a reason for that. And I remember talking to him, and I almost felt like a member of the media sometimes. It was a wild year, but way more good than bad, even though I wasn't playing much. But that's it. And I remember saying that. He's like, I came into the league and I'm Dave Manson, so I was like a chicken with my head cut off. And it was working to some degree. But he goes, like, my game really just came together when I realized work hard, work smart. There's a time to give it and there's a time to take it. And don't be running around. Not that I was a defenseman. I just remember him saying it and looking back. And again, he was a lot older than me. But when I looked back, and, he wasn't the first guy that I thought of. He wasn't like Cam Neely. You had to go out of your way to find highlights back then.
Yes.
Right? It's not like you just look at them. So like Dave Manson, I knew had penalty minutes and was a killer and was like a great defenseman. And look at some of those years are underrated. He had a lot of years that he had some points. But I remember him distinctly saying that, and Corson being there and agreeing. Guys like Mark Recchi were there and Turgeon, but they didn't really have that same kind of battle going on. Like theirs was a different evolution. But a guy like Manson, really kind of reminds me of Nurse in today's day and age. There are definitely similarities with size, the way they shoot, how they play. And I just remember him saying, distinctively, like, it all came together when I started to really kind of work smarter and not be just intimidating and crazy all the time.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Hey guys, I'm curious, TR, you played wing. I think you must have played center at some point. What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge for Janmark tonight when he's not a normal center iceman?
Honestly, I did. I changed into a winger in my draft year, which you might say, 17, that's early. I know, but it's not for a guy that left home, though, and played 14, 15, junior A. Then my whole 16-year-old year, I was a centerman. And Bob Laux came into me, and no one really saw Damon Lankow coming, right? Like that level of Lankow. We had myself, BJ Young, Brent Ashcroft. We all got brought in, expected to be future, quote-unquote, stars of some degree in junior. But Lanks was such a great center and a phenomenal two-way player. Just like you'd watch him and just learn just from watching him play. And I remember Laux coming to me and saying, you can be the second line center. But he's like, you're big, you'd probably be good on the wing. I'd never played a shift of wing ever in my life. And I was like, and he said, you're big on the wall. He said, you're just going to have to suck it up and like get it to Lanks. That's your job here. Get it to him. In other words, he's a better player. He's and really looking back, that year I had 110 points. He had 140. I had 50 goals. He had 67. No doubt he was better defensively than I was. I could handle my D and everything, but as a skater, there was no way that I could commit to being as good as he was that year because I just wasn't there in my all-around game. So I had to go over there, man, and it took a few games of getting used to. I tell you, the biggest thing was breaking out. I remember just, the standard, you come back in your center, you swing, and the guy on the wall either gets the puck and bounces it off the wall to you, gives it to you straight, or fills your lane, which would have more happened on the power play. But still, it was a different thing. So I remember the biggest difference, like getting the puck to break out, or like, when we got it and being in my place on the wing, and then like, because you'd have to look for that pass breaking out. and there's a time that you're moving and you're getting the pass, and you just have to assume that the D-man, it doesn't come straight at you and hit you like a train. And it takes a while, and not they all didn't, and many didn't at all. But there were a few. Tacoma had a guy, Michael Sikora, played for a while in the NHL, and obviously Brendan Witt. There were guys there. Nolan Baumgartner, not so much. Strudz, maybe Strudz, but Strudz didn't have the foot speed, to be honest, to be pinching like that and to get back. So you quickly got to know the guys in the league that were going to take that chance, right? Like I guess shortly after me, it was Dion Phaneuf being that guy. You know, you always watch him, and he'd be ready to pounce, right? Guys like Scott Stevens, more in their own end, but like there was breaking out. I remember that being a big problem at first, and getting rocked and just not having my timing set. Now, that being said, yeah, Mark isn't as fresh as I was, as green as I was going in, and he's a way better skater than I was. It's almost like I needed to work on my skating, and I think playing wing exposed it more than playing center, even though you wouldn't think that. But it did at the time, just because of the agility needed and timing needed to break out, if nothing else. I remember that being the biggest problem. Everything else was rather seamless, to be honest.
All right, there we go. Let's go around the NHL now, brought to you by McDonald's. And hey, how often can you say they've lowered prices now? Most people are going up, not at McDonald's. Their great world-famous coffee starts at only $1. Enjoy one today at McDonald's. As we go to Boston, Oilers are taking on the Bruins tonight. Jimmy Murphy from the Sick podcast in Boston joins us. And Jimmy, we were talking about changes at center. What have been the biggest stylistic, systemic changes you've seen under Joe Sacco compared to the previous coach in Boston?
That's a great question. I mean, I don't see. I think the biggest thing would be that they are playing more of a very defense first approach.
Okay.
They're relying on it. They're realizing, I mean, and, look, I'm not just going to tell it like it is. This team doesn't have the offensive guns that they used to. You take away Bergeron and Krejci, and obviously that finally caught up to them. And, I think that was their main issue, is that, the inevitable finally happened, and it wasn't necessarily Jim Montgomery, but and then the roster wasn't exactly built to go with Jim Montgomery's style. And, maybe that's why they didn't extend him. And maybe they wanted to see if maybe he could adapt to the roster as opposed to vice versa. So I think it's just a more defensive sound team. But the bottom line is you need to score goals too. And I think they've done a good job so far of buying in and turning it around a bit. But they've still had a couple lapses where, what was it, a week ago, they get smoked by Winnipeg to start this road trip. So there's still things that need to be shored up, but I still think this roster needs at least another scoring winger. Definitely needs a number one center, but I don't see them getting that in the middle of the season. But if they're going to make do and make the playoffs, they're going to need to get another scoring winger. And I would say another top four defenseman if they can get it, because it appears Hampus Lindholm will not be back for a while.
Yeah, that's a huge loss. Now, I was looking at the numbers since he went out. And Jordan Osterley is playing almost 19 minutes a night here in the month of December for them. Like, you know what? And he started his career in Edmonton, and, some people thought he might be, he's being bounced around, but this is the best team he's ever played on. And he's not just playing, he's playing 19 minutes a night.
Yeah. And look, I'm not going to take anything away from him. He's done all right. He's done admirable in there, right? And he's done the job that they've asked. And that's just to go out there and keep it simple. And like you said, rack up some minutes and give other guys a breather there. But they don't really have a choice right now, right? Because they don't really have a guy that they feel comfortable with to put on the left side with Charlie McAvoy. And he's seen a lot of time up on that top pairing. But, if you're going to look at it and say, look, I'm just telling the facts. I mean, is a Stanley Cup contender a team with a Jordan Osterley on the left side of the top pairing? I don't think so. I think he's a great depth guy, but he shouldn't be dependent on for those minutes. So I'm not sure how long that's going to be able to last, and they can get away with that.
TR?
Jimmy, it's good to hear your voice again, my man.
I was going to say, there he is. TR, how you doing, buddy?
Not bad, man. Jimmy and I, I'll talk about it on a rant one day, guys, one of my tales, but we go back a long way. Yeah, it's great to hear from you. I know you're more in Boston than anything, but in your opinion, Should the Buffalo Sabres cut their losses and just forfeit all the rest of the games of the year so nobody gets injured? I mean, they're going to lose them anyway. But what do you really think should happen here? They just got dummied 6-1 by the Canadians in the midst of a 14 or 15 game losing streak. I mean, what do you do there?
It's a mess, right? Now you look at it, and we've just been waiting for that team to take the next step, right, guys, to just sort of get back in the mix, whether that's, competing for a playoff spot or actually making the playoffs. You keep wondering when it's going to happen, and it's not. And I think if you look at their lineup and you look at, the average age and how many youngsters they have there and how many first rounders, you got to say, were these guys just rushed? Did they not mix in enough veterans along the way to kind of complement those youngsters and ease them into the NHL? Because we know this is a man's league, and it's not a developmental league. And these guys have had to really learn on the fly, and they've had to do it under numerous coaches now. And I don't think Lindy Ruff's a problem there. I really don't. I just feel like, he's caught in a whirlwind right now. But I look at Kevin Adams, guys, and look, there's no doubting he hasn't done a good job so far, right? But I'm not necessarily going to put all the blame on him. I'm also going to look up top. And I look at Terry Pegula, who, I get it. You turned around your other franchise, and that's the Buffalo Bills, and they've been a good contender for a while right now. They're knocking on the door right now. A lot of people looking at them to maybe win the Super Bowl this year. And so a lot of focus went into that. And I don't know if maybe the Sabres just he entrusted too much in Adams and other people there and said, we'll worry about that later. Let's focus on the Bills. I don't know. But I have to ask, Terry, you played in the NHL. What would you think it would be like if you're in the middle of a losing streak and you're in the biggest hockey mecca in the world, and, the media frenzy every night, and your owner decides to show up there and give you a speech in the locker room? I mean, talk about distractions, and then, of course, they come out and they just lay a giant egg. I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, this team's lost right now, and it's tough to watch, but they got to do something. They can't sit still. They need to make some moves right now. They need to address some of their needs and just sort of jumpstart the team if they can.
Speaking of teams in distress, who do you think has the best odds of coming out of their funk? The Sabres, the Rangers, or the Predators?
Ooh, well, I don't know if you saw Barry Trotz's quotes today, guys. He kind of just said, we're putting the white towel up. I mean, he didn't say rebuild, but he said retool. So the first sales sign is there, and I've been hearing tons of stuff out of Nashville all week. I don't know if they'll get anything. I actually just had a shootout. That's why I was running a little late, but I don't know if anything happened in the last half hour, but they're up to something. I mean, they're trying to do some big things right now from what I'm told on the trade market. Whether that gets done before the roster freeze sets in, I don't know, but I think by the new year, there could be a change there. And I'm not talking behind the bench. I'm talking on the roster. But yeah, so I don't know about Nashville. The Rangers, I don't get. Like, this is just such a mess. And look, I know Chris Drury. I know a lot of people. I don't know him personally. I met him a few times. We have a lot of mutual friends. And, Boston's a small hockey town. Everybody sort of knows each other and is connected. All through the years, I heard nothing but good things about him and met him a couple of times. Seemed like a nice guy. I don't know what's going on. But everything I'm hearing, whether it's from people that played with him, people that are with the team, people that know him, is something's up. Like, he's not the Chris Drury they knew. And you've heard all the stories. I highly suggest there's a story in the, I want to say it's the Low HUD, I think is the name of the site. It's a USA Today affiliate out of the Hudson River Valley there. And a writer there wrote a story with a bunch of anonymous quotes from the team, from scouts, what have you, around the team, former players, former staff employees, about people just being completely alienated and mistreated by not only Drury, but also the owner, Dolan. And it just looks like everything has sort of come to the surface at the wrong time, because that's a talented team. Let's not argue that. They've got a ton of skill. But the atmosphere, the environment right now needs to change. And I don't think the way that Drury handled it with Trouba or with Goodrow, I know he was within the rights in the CBA, but there's better ways to deal with it on a human level.
Very well said. I think Chris Drury's personal skills is what's at issue here. And honestly, from people I've talked to there, if he isn't the one going out, they don't think anything's going to change. Like, there's a lot of people just, you got to treat people right. You can be demanding, but you got to treat people with respect. And if you don't, it's going to be a problem. Now let's go back to the Boston Bruins tonight. Pasternak has 3 goals now in his last 4 games. It looks like he's starting to come out of it. He's one of the best goal scorers. I was looking basically over the last 8 years. There's Matthews, there's Pasternak, there's Draisaitl, there's McDavid and Ovechkin in the top 5 goal scorers in the NHL. He's only on pace for 29, which of course would be his lowest since his second year in the league, Jimmy, but he's got 3 in his last 4. And most goal scorers, all of a sudden they come out of a funk and boom, then they go crazy. Have you seen him now? Like, was that Calgary goal in overtime kind of the exclamation point of, okay, Pasternak's back, or is there still more to go for him?
Well, I look at it this way, Jason. Like, I don't necessarily think he's left in terms of the complete player that he is. Maybe the goal scoring or the sniper that we're used to with David Pastrnak hasn't been there. But I think about it, and I said this the other day on my podcast, and getting a lot of help from Bruins fans. But I mean, I've been watching this guy since he came into the league. There's a lot of things he does that I don't think he's getting credit for right now. He's much better two-way. He's really been great on the forecheck, and he's leading out there. I see him on the bench really talking it up to his teammates, and he's become much more of a playmaker. And I think, going back to how we started this conversation where I said they need another scoring winger, I think he's trying, and they also lost the centers, as I said. I think the Pasters took it upon himself to kind of fill those voids himself. Okay. And he's almost trying to do too much. And so I think that detracts from his scoring ability. I don't think the ability is gone or his touch is gone. I just think that he's focused on so many things at once right now that's not the primary thing. That's not what we're seeing like on a pace that we're used to. But he is coming out of it, I think, when it comes to goal scoring right now. And I did like that he had more of a shoot first mentality. Like I said, he's been getting a lot of assists, becoming more of a playmaker. But in the last couple games, he's really looking to shoot a lot more.
Jimmy, great stuff, man. We appreciate it. Enjoy the game tonight. It's a rarity. Boston hasn't lost in Edmonton since 2018. The Oilers haven't lost in Boston since 2018. So we'll see if one of those home teams can get a win this year in their head-to-head matchups. Thanks for your time.
I think it'll be tonight. I like Edmonton tonight. TR, have a good one, guys.
You betcha.
You too, buddy. Nice chatting again.
There you go. That's Jimmy Murphy from the Sick Podcast in Boston. We'll come back, update in the month of giving, our 2 packages, 2,000 and 1,500, and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Everyone's on the nice list this December. Even you, Sierra. We saw you shaking your ass on the dance floor.
Until December 31st, purchase $100 worth of gift cards at OTR and get a bonus $20 GC for free.
That's like 10 free hot dogs on Mondays.
Or 10 free tacos on Taco Tuesday.
How about 30 free wings on Wednesdays?
Or even 4 free drinks during happy hour.
However you divide it up, it's $20 free at On the Rocks. Calm down, Sierra.
On the Rocks, Jasper Ave and 118.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
Get early access to the Bricks Boxing Week blowout. Shop real Boxing Day prices now with deals for every room of your home. Shop door crasher specials like a 3-piece stainless steel appliance package for just $18.97. Take up to $3,000 off big screen TVs, up to $2,000 off sectionals, and up to $750 off sofas. Plus, buy more, save more on dining and bedroom furniture. Up to 25% off. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNugget, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area, prices exclude delivery.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab elevation models. With Sierra's 13.4-inch diagonal premium GMC infotainment system with Google built-in compatibility, available off-road package with hill descent control, plus an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine, you can take the road less traveled and try new things, like fishing or whitewater rafting. I should have gone fishing. Ask your GMC dealer for details. Party rock!
Brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$450. Welcome back, Gregor. Connor Halley, Terry Ryan with you. It is a month of giving. It's our final day to make a bid. Tomorrow, of course, is our pyramid of giving for Adopt a Teen. And we have two great packages today. Package one currently at $2,000 with Darren. Good deal. But first of all, it comes with $1,000 food and beverage credit. So let's pump this up a little bit. You get $1,000 food and beverage. And what? You are going to get the private Canadian Brewhouse Clubhouse package. People, honestly, I don't even know where the address is. I'm not even lying. I've never been there. I don't know where it is. I know it's on the south side. The winning bid will get the address. You go there. It's a full gymnasium, volleyball, basketball, tennis ball machine, soccer. You can play rock climbing walls. There's 2 bowling lanes, 3 TVs, arcade games all over the place. And so you can use this for like a staff party, team building experience, birthday party, even a stag or stagette. So it's a bargain right now at 2 G's from Darren. Actually, we just got a text in. Jason's in at 2150. So there you go, 2150. Nice. 833-401-1440. Package 2. Currently, Sean has it at 1,500. And it is the you get $1,000 gift card from the Wood and Energy Store, which is the fireplace store in Edmonton. You get a gas, wood, or electric fireplace and lots of other amenities. And you up to 10 people. But if you want fewer, like 4 couples, 3 couples, whatever you like, you will have Leela Zaniga from Collectio Wine and Spirits. She comes over with a fun-filled educational evening with a sampling of 6 to 8 bottles of wine from including Bubbles, White, Rose, Red, Old World, New World, anything. So it's really kind of learn about wines. Have a great evening there, and then you get the $1,000 gift card. And Sean has that currently at 1,500. So 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. And now let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, where hey, saving you more is what they do, as the Boxing Week event sales are going on right now. So where you can save up to $3,000 on a big screen TV, $2,000 off sectionals, and more at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Question number 1. Of course, the Oilers hosting the Bruins tonight. What's your score prediction and who gets the first goal of the game?
Ooh, score prediction 5-2 Oil on 2 empty netters. First goal of the game goes to Zach Hyman, who's going to continue his hot streak. And the empty netters is going to be Draisaitl with 1, McDavid with the other.
Oh, 2 empty netters. All right. I have the Oilers winning this game 4-2. And who scores the first goal? Well, it's hard not to go with Draisaitl right now. The guy does score every game. So I guess I'll go with the hot hand and Leon Draisaitl.
All right. Question number 2. Of course, the Boston Bruins, a long history of great players. I'm going to take out Bobby Orr because that seems too easy. But who would be your greatest Bruins of all time, 1 through 3?
Oh, wow. Phil Esposito, man. I think Phil Esposito is one of the most underrated players in the history of the game. When you look at how dominant he was as a scorer, until Gretzky came along and broke his goal scoring record of 76 goals, man. Like Phil the Thrill was unreal. After Phil, Ray Bourque would be number 2 on my list. And then, this is a good one. I don't know. Cam Neely was really good. He didn't play there kind of long enough is a little bit of my concern, maybe. So I will say, I'm going to go Johnny Busick. Johnny Busick, 500 goal scorer, had almost 1,400 points for the Bruins.
So I'm going to go Cam Neely. He was one of the players I looked up to, along with Chris Nyland and Rick Tocchet. I think they would be I mean, I love Gretzky and Lemieux, but I knew what I was going to be as a player when I was 10 years old. So I really, really, really loved Cam Neely, even though I was a Habs fan, okay? So he's number one. Phil Esposito, I read his book. I went back. I watched some highlights. This guy, I think, you said underrated. I think he might be the most underrated ever. You're talking 76 goals. That's the guy that Gretzky broke the record. People forget that. And when you watch him, he was just so good in front of the net. And he looks like awkward at times, but man, was he deadly in close. Deadly, like underrated deadly of all time. So having read his book, and he also was the GM of my team when I played in Cincinnati, and I also got a cool little draft story with him. So, I mean, I'm a bit biased, but I don't know. I think he could be number one. Now, third, Ray Bourque. So my first NHL game ever was exhibition, and it was in the Montreal Forum. For whatever reason, I don't know how many there are now even, but there were 7 or 8 games. And this was late in exhibition. So I don't know why it was my first game. If you look, it's on YouTube. I scored a goal. I got in a fight with Steve Leach. It was in the Montreal Forum against the Bruins. You would think that if I'd lasted that long to be playing in the Forum, and I know I was one of the last cuts. I knew I was going back, though. They were doing me a favor getting me some games. But I really don't know why I didn't play the first 6. But for that one, I remember coming out there, and the thing that stood out to me by far more than anything, everybody said it was going to be the speed, but I'd been in camp and I came out shot out of a cannon. I was so jacked. The speed, really, I was overestimating, and it wasn't what I thought. It was definitely fast. It was more the speed of the puck traveling than anything. I mean, it was fast, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it was Ray Bourque. I thought Ray Bourque was going to be like dangling, I don't know what I had in my head. Scott Niedermayer. Again, you knew the guy. You watched highlights. But you watched highlights. You didn't watch many full games other than when he was in the final. I had a good idea, but I had no idea how strong he was. And it really stood out. Like, he could throw me like I was a paper bag, man. It was crazy. And the cross-checks from him in front hurt more than Chris Pronger's. Like, it was crazy how that stood out to me, but I'm putting him number 3. I might be biased per NHL game, but I thought he was just awesome.
Question number 3, guys. Week away from the World Juniors. What do you think the podium looks like this year?
I got Canada, Sweden, Czech. I think Czech are going to do some damage. I think I mentioned it earlier. They got some awesome prospects. Miroslav Halinka, Toronto prospect who plays on Edmonton, is going to lead the charge. And for Sweden, Otto Stenberg, I got my eye on him. Now you're asking, why didn't I include the USA? Because I'm cheering for a bit of an upset, but that's what I'm going to say.
That's fair. I have Canada, US in the final, and I have Finland. Could never count out the Finns. In these tournaments, I always find a way to get a medal.
Question number 4, Broncos Chargers kicking off the week tonight in the NFL. Chargers 2.5-point favorites. The over-under at 41. These are 2 bets you could make, but what would you say is the smart bet? Anyone you want to do here?
I got to go over 41. Come on, your Chargers, figure it out, find some points. So yeah, I will Bo Nix. You know what? I'm going to say a little surprise here. I think they're going to put up over 50 points between these 2 teams tonight. So I will say the over.
I'd take the over, but I'm going at, I think the Broncos are going to win the game. The Chargers, I believe earlier in the year, throttled them pretty good, but Bo Nix is gaining experience. The Broncos are on somewhat of a roll, and I'm rolling with them to the tune of $100 tonight. But yeah, I'm rolling with them.
Good luck, TR. I'm sorry, I'm rooting against you. Final question for you guys. Today is National Re-Gifting Day. So confession time. Have you ever re-gifted a present? Christmas or birthday? Anything.
Okay, so you'd have to ask me like specifically, because I've regifted so many presents. At least 3 this Christmas are re-gifts. Now, in terms of getting them that Christmas and giving them back away, yes, that's happened a few times. a lot with me and my buddies that go way back, right? We collect like vinyl records and stuff. So, you know, it's just, oh, this one I got. Sometimes it's almost communal. Other times it's completely deceiving. But I've had every end of the spectrum. Yes, I've regifted at least 4 dozen times.
Yes, I have regift, but usually it's bottles of wine because I can't really drink wine. So it's never open. It's not bad. It's still good. Someone gifts it to you, great. And then when I go to someone's house, I bring that bottle of wine. So yes.
Come on, man. You never got something for, I don't know, for free doing your show that you do or whatever, and it might be a nice hoodie or whatever, and then you regift it at Christmas? I got a Detroit Red Wings.
No, I've never definitely regifted any. Well, you got to remember, like at Christmas time, I'd give it to my brother. Like, there's nothing like I think I'd give to my sister that I got for me. And then all my nephews, no. When they were little, I'd get them all toys. So no, I've definitely never regifted anything at Christmas. But I mean, like my buddies, like I've never ran in a circle of friends where we give each other gifts at Christmas. So I really only do family gifts.
I suppose, and I'm also including like gifts that I get that might not be Christmas gifts, but I'll go like, okay, you know what, at Christmas, that's gonna, maybe like I said, we just went to play the Red Wings, Blackhawks, a bunch of alumni teams.
Yeah.
So we're down there, and they give us some gifts, and I would never give them. I keep things that they give me. God, I don't want to seem ungrateful, but if I know my buddy's a huge Red Wings fan.
Oh yeah, no, I can see that.
Yeah.
I guess it's, to me, a gift is like if it's your birthday or Christmas. Like if I go to an event and you get like a gift bag or something and everybody who shows up gets, I don't know. I guess I wasn't counting that because I get a lot of those stuff and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't interest me. So then I'll give it to other people or I give it to charities to donate. So I guess sure, but to me that's more of like a show up thing. It's not like it's a birthday gift or something, right? Like I do remember getting gifts like the worst sometimes you get from an aunt or an uncle at a certain age. You get like this terrible sweater and you're like, oh my God, what do I do with that? So I remember those more than regifting.
I'll tell you, I bet what you're kind of talking about about 3 or 4 years ago. I briefly dated a girl, and she gave me cowboy boots for Christmas.
Okay. But they weren't good.
No, they were great. I had a pair that looked kind of like them already.
Okay.
And if you want to use the word broke up, I really thought it was outlandish that she got me anything, let alone boots. So when I didn't see her anymore, I definitely regifted those. Yeah. The person that I if they asked me, I would have said, but I'm pretty sure they think that I picked them out. And I'm going to leave it that way for now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Cons, you?
I was ready to say no, but Gregor, you're right. When you talk about a bottle of, it was like whiskey or something, thing that I would not enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say who it came from, but I've certainly done that before. Take it to a Christmas party, the in-laws, just to kind of pass it on, knowing I wouldn't fully enjoy it the way other people would. So yeah, I guess in hindsight, I actually have. Other than that, not like a real gift. I guess, getting socks or whatever. I've got a bunch that I've actually just donated because I never opened them. Like sitting in the closet for 2 years, pack of socks. I'll give it to Goodwill or whatever.
How many
it might
socks
be.
You get that you got
every year, and
really?
I don't. My rotation of socks doesn't go that quickly. So I've done that, giving it to charity. But yeah, only alcohol. That'd be the only one I've actually regifted.
And that's a good regift gift. Like if you don't like it and you know somebody who does, I don't know, anybody like you haven't opened it, you haven't used it, right? It's not like you took a sip. No, I don't like it, and then screw the cap back on. That would be a little odd.
Even if it's a baseball bat, who cares? I think regifting is okay.
Yeah.
If I get a good gift and someone regift it, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Hey, why do I have this? Why did you get me this? I don't know, because I didn't want it. Hey, sure, Steve, catch you on the rebound. All good. Now it's mine.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. Totally fair. TR, have yourself an awesome Christmas.
Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you guys have an awesome Christmas as well. And to all Oilers Nation, everybody listening, it's been awesome so far. And can't wait to talk to you guys on the rebound.
There you go. That is Terry Ryan, our Tuesday, Thursday guest. We'll come back. We're up to 1750 and 2150 in our packages. We'll tell you what they are. We get to the final hour. It's our final hour of auction because tomorrow is their Pyramid of Giving for adopted teens. So if you want to get in, you want to help out, you've been waiting, we got 2 great packages. We'll tell you what they are after a Conman Sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. The Canada-wide clearance is on now at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on a 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Elevation. See more at gmcoffers.ca.
The Sports 1440 update.
Game day, the Oilers hosting the Boston Bruins. Puck drop just after 7 down at the Ice District. We've got pregame coverage for you right here on Sports 1440 at 6 o'clock with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson. Elsewhere on the NHL, Blues in town. Jackets host the Devils. The Kings battle the Flyers. Blackhawks host the Kraken. Sens in Calgary. Golden Knights taking on the Canucks. And the Sharks up against the Avalanche. In the NFL, we've got Week 16 action kicking off at 6:15 with the Chargers hosting the Broncos in the association. The Raptors about 30 minutes away from hosting the Brooklyn Nets down in Toronto. PWHL tonight, Ottawa Charge in Minnesota taking on the Frost. That'll get going at 6 o'clock, and one college football game going on right now. It is the RNL Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Sam Houston and Georgia Southern scoreless in the first quarter. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and hear a one-on-one Gregor had with Oilers defenseman Darnell Nurse. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Checking off your gift list can go more smoothly when you give smoothies. From now till December 31st, buy a $30 Booster Juice gift card and gift yourself with any regular size smoothie for free. Try the new salted caramel smoothie made with vanilla oat beverage, vanilla frozen yogurt, and decadent caramel. It pairs magically with the salted caramel booster ball, bursting with Score toffee bites, cinnamon, maple syrup, cashew butter, and more. Happiest of holidays from Booster Juice. Download the Booster Rewards app today.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta, new players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet. Every week, all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 furnace service company for the holidays because we don't charge overtime rates, including 24/7 emergency. Oh, I need service, please, Santa. Tell me a price. My furnace is naughty. Would you please make it nice? No, I can't wait to find it under my tree. Please send me service from Legacy. No overtime or emergency rates during the holidays or ever. That's how you service your Legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next adventure. Yamaha's legendary performance and reliability take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail. RideRiverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price starting at $1 plus tax for a small. It's great if you love great tasting coffee. $1 small premium roast coffee every single day. Must be McCafe. Plus tax at participating restaurants in Canada. Excludes delivery.
Everyone at Bridge Ford on the Wetaskiwin Auto Mile would like to wish you all the best during this festive season. Enjoy good food, good friends, and time spent with family. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Richard Leslie and all the staff at Brent Ridge Ford.
The James Insurance Group, serving East Central Alberta, would like to wish you a happy and safe holiday. Enjoy your time with friends and family and take in all the season has to offer. Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year from the entire team at the James Insurance Group.
A lot of things were going on in 1974. Happy Days premiered on television. The Rubik's Cube was invented. Allie and Foreman fought the rumble in the jungle. And GS Construction started their first job. Yes, for 50 years, GS Construction has been building the infrastructure of Edmonton and surrounding areas. Think of the neighborhoods that weren't even built yet. Think of all the work that had to be done to get them built. Probably about 50 years. But for GS Construction, it's been time well spent. For more, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
09. Gregor, Halley, Thursday afternoon game day. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca is always presented by our title sponsor, playalberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50 and you'll get a free $50 play all through the month of December. Playalberta.ca. Oilers, the favorite tonight over the Boston Bruins. All right, we are into the it's our final day of auctions. Tomorrow is our pyramid of giving for Adopt a Teen. So if you don't want to, if you can help out today, or maybe you're saving it for tomorrow, awesome. That'll be great. Just plan ahead. You know how the pyramid works. 1, 2, 5 and $1,000 donations, what we're looking for. Today, we're just looking for bids. So we're currently, Sean has the top bid on package number 2, the wine and fireplace. That's $1,750. You get a $1,000 gift card from the Wood and Energy Store. They have a great selection of gas, wood, and electric fireplaces. And you'll also have you and up to 9 friends, total party of 10, but you can have less if you want. Leela Zaniga from Collectio Wine and Spirits will show up with some bottles of wine, and you'll get an evening of learning about them, sampling different wines from bubbles to white rose, red, old world, new world, whatever. Now you can talk to Leela in advance, because if there's one that you really don't like, obviously you're not going to bring that. So there you go. So Sean has that at $1,750. Package number 1, I guess, the Canadian Brewhouse Clubhouse package, which is it's located in South Edmonton. Where? I honestly, true story, I don't know. I've never been there. What the hell, Pat? I've never been invited. I don't know what's going on, but I've never been there. Anyway, I've seen pictures. I've talked to people who've been in there, and it's just like, you look at the front and where it is, people would never know what's inside. It's unreal. It's got a full-size gymnasium, volleyball, basketball, hockey, soccer, tennis ball machine, everything in there. There's a rock climbing wall. There's also 2 bowling lanes, so like a little bowling alley. You can have games in there. 3 TVs, arcade room. Also, you'll get a $1,000 food and beverage credit. Now, this can be used for a staff party, team building experience, birthday party. Winner last year at his 40th bash said it was unreal. So you can have a stag or stagette even if you like. So currently that's at $2,150. All right. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. So let's get that up a little bit here in the final hour in the month of giving today. Now we get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction, and they just want to wish everybody out there a very Merry Christmas, all the best in 2023. And for all the construction sites now more than ever, be careful, let everybody get home safe and sound. As Mark Spector joins us, and Spec, Mr. Arvidsson is indeed back for the first time since November 12th. Now, Chris Knobloch mentioned it many times. They're going to kind of ease him in with 3 games in 4 days. And, also said Janmark, who's starting out as the 4th line center, he's going to be moving all around. So I think we'll be seeing lots of different line combinations is what if I'm reading between the lines, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think, when they would go sometimes with 11 forwards and give extra center shifts to McDavid and Draisaitl with the 4th line wingers with Perry and Janmark or Perry and whoever, I think we'll see some of that for sure. I think you'll see that mix around, and probably the guy that probably won't play very many minutes will be Arvidsson. They will break him in fairly slowly. So the coach will be busy behind the bench figuring out who's playing where and how much, Jake.
Yeah. You look at the orders, and Zach Hyman today, man, it sounded like a bag of chips. God, like it's such a really good description. And he's talking about when he took what he felt when he took that puck in the face. And so anybody out there listening, that sound. Well, basically that's what he said his nose sounded like when he took that Bouchard deflection shot right in the beak.
Yeah, actually, no. You know what? I'm going to correct you. What he said to us was, when I asked
when they were resetting it, sorry.
When they were resetting
yes.
it, I asked him after when the scrum went away, because I missed the front end of it. I was talking to someone else, and he said, yeah, I said they reset. He goes, yeah, it was way over here on the side of my face. I had to move it over. I said, oh, was that like? He goes, it sounded like a bag of chips. So I don't know, man. He's broken that thing 4 or 5. He said, I think 5 or 6 times. He said started when he was a kid. He broke it jumping on a bed. He broke it at a paintball party when he was a kid. He ran into some other kid's forehead. I mean, let's face it. He's got a good sized beak, and it's probably gotten in the way over the years. So, and then you go to the Boston room, and who are you going to ask about noses over there? You could ask Brad Marchand.
Oh, and Marchand's got
5 times.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good sense of humor about his nose too.
Oh,
so.
for sure.
Oh God, he's howling. Yeah, like how many times do you think he broke that thing? Did he answer? Like how many times has he busted his beak?
Marchand said 5 times at least.
Oh my God.
So I thought that like he really went on with a really interesting sort of answer about the culture of playing hurt and the culture of like, first of all, he said a head injury is nothing. Playing hurt with a broken nose, it's hard to breathe, but it's just the rest of the way it's nothing compared to playing with a lower body injury with a bad hip or a bad knee, right?
Yeah.
So that's way, way worse.
Okay.
And he said, you know, he talked about the culture in hockey. He said you play hurt for your teammates because it puts some juice in the room. When a guy's going out there playing hurt and everyone knows he's battling through it, it has some juice for the team. And I didn't really think of it that way, but he says you do it for your teammates.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. And did you ask like what's been their biggest difference under Joe Sacco?
Well, I didn't ask him that, but I think they were teetering here. They were teetering, like we were talking about it. What was it? They lost 9-1 in Winnipeg, right? And then to start this trip. And then didn't they lose 6-1 the next night? And then 2 nights later?
Yeah, 5-1 in Seattle, yeah.
Yeah, so they were teetering a little bit. They haven't had great goaltending. They haven't had great systems play. And I think that, like Marchand today was just talking about the culture they have in their team and how they can find a way to fall back on their structure and their system and all those boring hockey things, but they matter.
Yeah.
And, Boston with Bergeron and Krejci and Chara and all those great teams they had, there's some leftover structure. There's some leftover stability from those teams, right? They passed down a lot of stuff. Maybe they're not as good a team. Maybe they don't have a Bergeron anymore. They got Pasternak. Do they have a Krejci? I'm not sure. They don't have a Chara anymore. They don't have a Chara, but they still have a lot of that intangible left over. And I think they're relying on that now. That'll only get you so far. You need the players. Let's see how far it gets. Boston, I'm not sure how far they'll get, but they do have a very stable room and they can right the ship.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's probably fair. Jeremy Swayman, I was looking, the 8-1 and 5-1 game really kind of skew the rest of his games there over the last quite a bit, right? Like that's, 13 goals in those 2 games, and you just look at your other 10. It doesn't matter what you do in the other 10; the numbers aren't going to look great. So
it wrecks your numbers.
Yeah, it kind of wrecks your numbers, right? And that's that's kind of where Stuart Skinner can be at, where he can have lots of good games. If he has one bad one that he allows in 6, well, that really wrecks all the numbers of the previous 9, right? And it brings it down significantly, right? So it happens. So goalies never love it, but that's just kind of how it goes. I look at the at the matchup tonight. There is no Hampus Lindholm. He's been out since he actually got hurt the exact same night that Arvidsson got hurt, but he's going to be out much longer than Arvidsson. And I don't know if you noticed, Spec, but old Jordan Osterley is playing 19 minutes a night since the start of December in Boston. And we had Jimmy Murphy on. He says, you know what? The guy's just he's a solid veteran player. It doesn't really wow you, but man, coach really trusts him right now.
He's kind of, in a lot of ways, he's a little bit like Troy Stetcher. He's a bit of a tweener. He's always been too good for the AHL, but he's had a hard time sticking with NHL teams, Osterley. His calling card is he can skate, right? He can get around. He can get in position. He knows where to be, and he can get there on time. And, he's going to look at, I don't know how many games Osterley's played in the league. Stetcher's played over 5.
Tonight, Osterley will be 383.
Okay, so he's going to get in 400 or 500 games as a guy, like I say, that never really has always had a hard time being a full-time top 6 D-man. There's always someone better than him. There's always a reason to move him out or send him down. Give him credit, man. He's hanging around. He's playing in the NHL. I mean, hell, he's played 383 more games than anybody listening to the show right now. So take your hat off to him.
No, I do. I think it's fantastic. I love the story. Because when he left Edmonton, people thought, wow, this guy's not an NHL defenseman, right? And he's proven a lot of people wrong, for sure. Yes,
I love those guys, man. I love, good for him. He never gave up. A lot of guys quit. A lot of guys go to Europe. A lot of guys do different things. And he slugged it out again. It reminds me of Stetcher, because Stetcher's always been a 7th defenseman in a lot of places. And look at him now. He's playing pretty well for the Oil.
Yeah, no, he is playing very well. Now, speaking of the Oilers, you got 3 games in 4 nights.
Yeah.
I guess now you can always get someone in from Bakersfield if need be, but when they come out of the Christmas break, do you think they're going to stick with 6 defensemen, or they might be looking at moving out to a forward here to the minors and bringing up another defenseman. What do you think? Or do they even have one? Like, did they want to bring up? Is that
Well, I don't see a defenseman down there that you want to bring up and play. Like, let's say, who's your next defenseman coming up? Is it not Josh Brown?
Yeah, it'd probably be Josh Brown for sure.
Okay, so do you need to bring him up and play him? Are you dying to play him? I think you're only bringing him up if there's an injury. The problem with Bako being so far away, I mean, if a guy gets hurt in the first period against San Jose Saturday, you're going to play 5 periods of hockey with 5 defensemen. What if 2 guys get hurt, right? Can you get a guy from Bakersfield up for the game on Sunday night against Ottawa? I'm not sure. I mean, maybe you can.
Yeah, you probably could, because it's an afternoon game against San Jose. So you'd let them know Saturday night. They'd probably have to fly. Well, maybe there'd be an overnight flight, or they'd get there first thing in the morning. It wouldn't be ideal, but yes, you could do it. Yeah, and that's why, that's why if you only have 12 forwards and 7 defensemen, if you get an injury, you just play 11-7, right? Like, it's not the end of the world.
I think that's why most teams would rather carry 7. Like, if you're the Oil, and you're only carrying 21 players. That's what they're doing here. I think the 21st player should theoretically be a defenseman, not a forward, right? I mean, I think that's,
yes.
I think that's just a smarter practice. But they're in the position now, they don't have a forward that doesn't have to go through waivers to go down, correct?
Correct.
All right, so you're waiving, who you sending down? You're going to waive Derek Ryan? I mean, I don't think you're going to lose him, but you're putting them on waivers to send him down. Kapanen was one of the last guys in. He's played pretty well. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't get through waivers. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
So it's not easy. You're not sending Podkolzin down. You're not waiving Perry. You're not waiving Janmark. Who are you waiving here?
Yeah,
right?
no, fair question. So yeah, they might just have to stick with 6 until you get an injury. Right?
Yeah, the problem with injuries is sometimes they come 2 in a period, and then you're in real trouble.
Yeah, wow. They'd live it up, but I kind of found it interesting that, you look at the cap, and they're accruing some cap space right now with only 21 on the roster, right? Like they put Dermott down. Now, Regula, who they got from Boston, ironically enough, on waivers. Now, usually you can't waive a player when they're injured, but my understanding is he had agreed to it because he was in Providence all of last season, and he kind of knew guys there. He was more comfortable rehabbing down there. That's what their plan was going to be. And then he got claimed by Edmonton, so he's now in Edmonton and will stay here in rehab. But he doesn't count on your roster because he wasn't in the NHL last year. So he's one of those injured players, like when Järventie was here. Now Järventie had a smaller percentage because he had played some, but it is interesting. Like Alex Regula is not really close to being eligible for the team, right? Like he's still rehabbing.
What's his when's he going to be able to go play in Vaco for a while?
Well, first of all, he couldn't just go to Vaco, right? Because he's on the Oilers roster. They'd have to. You might be able to get him on a conditioning stint, but I'd have to look at the rules of that. Can you put a guy who's not an NHL player in a conditioning stint? I don't know the answer to that. So
I'll bet you he can get through waivers for a period of time to condition, but then you'd have to put him through waivers before he could continue to play for Vaco, right?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, and if Boston, I could see them probably just reclaiming him, right? So
maybe, I don't know how much they like them. That's
he's a young guy.
I've never seen the guy play. He's big. He's moved around a little. Who knows? Don't ask me if he can play. I don't have a clue.
Yeah. Spec, have yourself an awesome night. We'll see you at the rink.
Yeah, you coming to the game tonight?
I am, of course. Yeah, I'll be there.
All right. See you at the rink.
There you go. That's Mark Spector. The Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. We'll take a quick break, come back, update the month of giving, and we'll hear from Darnell Nurse. Had a one-on-one with the player who I think he's been the best defenseman this season for the Edmonton Oilers. And we just talked about some little subtle things that he's worked on that he feels is helping his game. It's coming up next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. You can also text us in 833-401-1440 in our eWell inbox.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Get early access to the Bricks Boxing Week blowout. Shop real Boxing Day prices now with deals for every room of your home. Shop door crasher specials like a 3-piece stainless steel appliance package for just $18.97. Take up to $3,000 off big screen TVs, up to $2,000 off sectionals, and up to $750 off sofas. Plus, buy more, save more on dining and bedroom furniture, up to 25% off. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNugget, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area, prices exclude delivery.
Are you losing sleep over your debt? Being hounded by collection calls? My name is Parveen Middleton, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I understand this can be a stressful situation, and I'm here to help. I can put a stop to these collection calls and guide you towards your debt-free future. All it takes is one phone call. Let's discuss your debt relief options during a free consultation. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
Everyone at Bridridge Ford on the Wetaskiwin Auto Mile would like to wish you all the best during this festive season. Enjoy good food, good friends, and time spent with family. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Richard Leslie and all the staff at Bridridge Ford.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNugget, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area, prices exclude delivery.
It's Canadian Tire's Christmas Rush Sale. Save on top products like the Rock Cookware, Tinko vacuums, and Ninja appliances. Ho, ho, hurry! Sale ends December 12. Conditions and exclusions apply.
The wrapping paper is coming off, the gift box is opening, and the crowd goes wild.
When they want sports in their stocking, you'll find gifts that score big at St. Albert's Source for Sports. From jerseys and accessories to all kinds of skates and everything hockey, it's here, alongside expert advice from pros who know sports. Put the best sports brands under the tree for less with St. Albert's Source for Sports, your source for hockey and the best sports gifts for over 35 years.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Elevation models. With Sierra's 13.4-inch diagonal premium GMC infotainment system with Google built-in compatibility, available off-road package with hill descent control, plus an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine, you can take the road less traveled and try new things, like fishing or whitewater rafting. I should have gone fishing. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Ho, ho, ho! 'Tis the season to find the perfect gift at the perfect price at Leduc Goldsmiths.
The annual Christmas sale is on now with up to 30% off store-wide, plus special flyer savings. All natural and lab-created diamond engagement rings are 15% off with a wide selection available. The team at Leduc Goldsmiths have years of expertise to help you find what you need. Leduc Goldsmiths on Main Street, Leduc. Leduc's Jewelry Store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years.
Introducing the Female Super League. Female hockey is on the rise with more women playing the game than ever. Join us as we pave the way for the future of women's hockey. The FSL is more than a game. It's a movement and an experience for the motivated female athlete. Teams will compete in a showcase-style format featuring consistent interprovincial competition. Come be part of the journey as the 2024-25 season unveils a 12U division, as well as the launch of a groundbreaking progressive body-checking 14U division. For more information, visit FemaleSuperLeague.com.
Hard to believe it's already that time of year again. Time to get your festive aluminum pole at Metal Supermarkets, where the staff will be completing feats of strength to get your metal ready without any grievances. When your project needs a festive miracle, Metal Supermarkets offers in-house bending, often by the next day. Plus, metal cut to your exact specifications, fast. The convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta? New players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet every week all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price starting at $1 plus tax for a small. It's great if you love great tasting coffee. $1 small premium roast coffee every single day. Must be McCafe. Plus tax at participating restaurants in Canada. Excludes delivery.
Hard to believe it's already that time of year again. Time to get your festive aluminum pole at Metal Supermarkets, where the staff will be completing feats of strength to get your metal ready without any grievances. When your project needs a festive miracle, Metal Supermarkets offers in-house bending, often by the next day. Plus, metal cut to your exact specifications, fast. The convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Better holidays start with better ingredients. Better pizza from Papa John's. Get 25% off any regular price pizza with the code word BETTER25 at papajohns.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through. Welcome back, Gregor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. NHL Thursday night action underway. St. Louis is trailing Tampa Bay 1-0. Also, Columbus has an early lead at home against the Devils. Provorov was his third. Cirelli has his 13th of the season for the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's his good season. Continues. LA is in Philly tonight. Games that matter. Ottawa's in Calgary. Ottawa plays Calgary tonight, Vancouver Saturday, and then in Edmonton on Sunday. So both teams will be playing 3 in 4 nights. Boston's in Edmonton. Vancouver in Vegas tonight. And the Avalanche, Blackwood, returns to San Jose to take on the Sharks. All right, we got 20 minutes or so left in our bids today for the month of giving. Tomorrow is just an auction. It's sort of the pyramid of giving. So have you been thinking about it? Today's your final day to get in and help out as we help out the Christmas Bureau. Today, package 1 is at, well, actually it's at 2,000. So we had a little snafu. So we don't want to talk about it, but we'll just, somebody, I guess, got a little overzealous. So Darren, you have it at 2,000. Okay. So, yeah. Serenity now. Let's just say that, Colin. Serenity now. So 2,000 for the Canadian Brewhouse Clubhouse package from Darren. That's you got full amenities. This place is unreal. Now, I've never been there. Most of you have never been there. Some of you, though, have texted in kind of bragging that you were there, talking about how awesome it is. So I love it. You get $1,000 food and beverage credit, and then use the facility. You can use it for now, as long as you can't just use it on Friday, you got to book in advance. Okay, keep that in mind. But most of you plan ahead, staff party, team building experience, birthday parties, stags, get whatever. It'll be loads of fun. So, and package number 2 at $1,750 is the $1,000 gift card at Wood and Energy Store, your fireplace store with gas, wood, electric fireplaces. And then also up to a party of 10, but you can have less. It's your choice. Lila Zaniga from Collectio Wine and Spirits will come over and host an evening of wine for you to try all different kinds. Bubbles, white, rose, red, old school, old world, new world. I'm not a wine guy. I don't know. It's well above my pay grade. Okay, well above it. So that's currently at $1,750. So if you want in, 833-401-1440. Let's get now to Darnell Nurse conversation I had with Nurse earlier today in the dressing room. And Darnell Nurse, I think anybody who's watching the games would recognize that Darnell Nurse has been the Oilers' best defenseman here for quite a while here this season. Not getting scored on. playing physical, producing some points, but more so just being steady defensively. And he's been switching kind of between partners in Brett Kulak and Troy Stetcher. But it just started out, when I look at Nurse's game, it just seems more controlled. What was there some things that he focused on, because it really seems to be working right now for him?
Playing instinctual, just going out there with purpose. I think obviously the results of it probably came after November, but I think it was building up before that. I mean, a lot of times we all get wrapped up in the numbers and not so much in the feel and the process of it. And I felt things don't just switch overnight. So we've been feeling good for a little bit, and with that said, it's just more so when you build a foundation, you start to play well or feel good in the spot you're in. You got to continue to build on it. I think that's continue to play hard and have good reads, and just never being content when you show up.
Goal scorers always talk about how they get confidence. You score a goal or two and boom, you got a lot of confidence. When you're not on the ice for many goals against, does it work the same way? Do you feel that much more confident? You're just like, hey, you know what? I'm not getting scored on.
Sometimes when you're getting scored on, it puts you on your heels a little bit, and you want to make sure you don't make a mistake, because it can end up what's going the other way. You can be a little more aggressive. Kind of going back to the last question, just the process of it and being in the right spots, and the harder you defend, the better spots you put yourself in, whether the puck's going in your net or not. It all averages itself out in the end.
How do you find that fine line of being aggressive but not going out of position? Because you're obviously an elite skater, you can cover ground, you're long, but you've been able to be aggressive but not really be out of position. How do you figure that out? How does that come in a game?
I think that comes with the confidence part of it. And when you're jumping at the right times. With that said too, I think, when you're being aggressive, sometimes you're forcing things, and you're getting yourself out of position, just trying to make an impact. And, that can hurt you, like it hurt the team and put you in bad spots. But, you're just playing natural, instinctual, and making the reads and being confident in the reads. I think that's the thing too, is you're not, with my game is not good when I'm staying on my heels and I'm staying back, and I'm trying to completely let the game come to me. I have to have a level of aggression and go out there and try to cover time and space. I've just been trying to find that the healthy balance.
It's a unique situation because you've played almost split here with Troy and Brett, and you had even success. And so obviously a lot of times you want continuity to play with a partner, but it seems like right now it's like, well, as long as I'm focused on my game and I do it well, regardless of who I play with, we're going to have
that was my focus coming in. I wanted to take care of my own game and make sure that each night I was bringing my best. And with that said, between Cooley and Stetch, there's two guys that play a lot of games in this league and are very good hockey players and would be in the position that they are without the skill and the mind that they have. So for me, it's been fun to play with both of them. Sometimes you gotta, I think early on we were adjusting and you figure out what hand is on the other side every once in a while. And, with Cooley, we could end up on both sides of the ice. It doesn't matter, both good skaters and find ourselves all over the place sometimes, but in the right spots. And with Stetch, you naturally just stay on your own sides. But, from shift to shift, I think, all three of us, you're just worried about the impact that you can make and having confidence in the guys on the other side.
Has the game changed a bit from even when you were in junior, that there seems to be more, it's not just a set positionally anymore. Guys play, you're a right D, but sometimes you're a left D, even just in the course of a shift. You notice that? And is that more fun to play, that it's more not just I'm right side, I'm left side?
When you're a skater, you go out there and cover ice and you see a play, you can react. I think that's, when you have two different partners, now that we're able to, starting to be able to read off each other better. You see a play, you go jump it, but that is definitely the game now. I mean, one of the things to be effective in this league is you got to skate and play with more instinct and just, whether you're on the right side, on the left side, you got to be comfortable, and that's definitely part of it.
Your numbers against what's deemed elite players, the top guys, every player wants to challenge himself and play the best. You've done very well in all the numbers, but specifically against them. Do you get up more for a guy like Pasternak per se? And is it more of an excitement level when you play one of the best goal scorers in the game to try to shut him down?
See, there's a lot of special players in this league, and when you're out there, you have to have an awareness of where they are on the ice at all times. So for sure, the heightened level of competition is going to bring out the best, I think, as players in this league, the competition and what makes us tick, and being out there for a hard shift or playing against a hard matchup. That's the fun of it.
Well, interesting, Cons. You listen to Nurse, and he just said, and I think it's true, because sometimes people, I find if it's a player that they like or don't like, they want to try to find blame. Well, he's not good because of his partner or this or that. I don't really buy into that, right? And I know that CC was a lot of people's whipping boy in Edmonton. Him and Darnell Nurse had a really good year in 22 or 23. And then, last year, obviously, at times they struggled. And the funny part was from November when Nawal got hired until February, Nurse was actually really good. So there's been lots of stretches of being really good under Paul Coffey. And, I know there's some people, well, Coffey doesn't really know the defensive game, which I think is a little bit oversimplistic. He played in the NHL for a long, long time. Was he a stay-at-home defenseman? No. That doesn't mean he understands what other guys should do to play defense. And the most, I thought, interesting part of that conversation with Darnell was that he really wants to be aggressive. But we're seeing him stay aggressive without run out of position. Right? And I think because before he might have hesitated and then you go, well, then you're screwed, right? Then you're kind of in no man's land. And we haven't seen that. Like, honestly, can you remember the last time in a game when you saw Nurse, kind of running out of position, then it leaves guys wide open? I haven't seen that. Honestly, like he's played a very composed game right now for the Edmonton Oilers, and all the numbers back it up. Like I mentioned to everybody, since November 1st, it's not just that he is being the Oilers' best defensive defenseman. He's got the best defensive numbers in the NHL. He's only been on for 3 goals against 5-on-5. And he's playing, like he's averaging, because he missed 2 of those games, but he's averaging more minutes per game 5-on-5 than any other order defenseman in that time. Hey, Brett Kulak's actually played the most minutes. He's just played a few more games. So Paul Coffey's, you're seeing it. We're seeing a slight reduction in the minutes from Ekholm and Bouchard because the other guys are playing better. That's a good thing, right? Because I do believe Ekholm and Bouchard collectively as a pair can play better than they have been here for the last month. And I don't, Bouchard's dragging down Ekholm. No, Ekholm, the last game, Ekholm, when he got beat in the neutral zone, that had nothing to do with Bouchard. Nothing. When he had the puck on a stick behind the net and elected to just throw it around blindly up to the point when there's no one there, that wasn't on Bouchard. It had nothing to do with him. You can't I don't like Bouchard, so now I'm going to blame him for Ekholm's bad plays. Like, come on. It's not realistic. You can't do it. They just need to play better. And they're more than capable of it. That's the good news for the Oilers. They're more than capable of it. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up. And we'll get to our see if anybody wants to get in some late bids. At $2,000 for the Brewhouse package, $1,750 for the wine package. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our eWell inbox.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta? New players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet. Every week, all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Is it Riverside Motorsports?
No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong.
Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Vimy and Don and Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you are a student athlete interested in growing as both a person and a hockey player, visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.ca to register for a free shadow day. Beginner or an experienced player, these programs are designed to nurture and develop your skills in a positive and supportive environment. Vimy and Donnan help student athletes pursue their passion for hockey while achieving their academic goals. Register for a Vimy and Donnan Hockey Shadow Day today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul. Edmonton Trailer.
For over 65 years, Denham Ford has delivered the customer service and value that keeps Albertans moving for work and play. And that tradition continues with the final year-end 2024 clear-out. Enjoy low rates or thousands in year-end savings on every vehicle, including F-150, Bronco, and Super Duty. That's the value you've come to expect from where cars always cost less. Denham Ford on Highway 2A in Wetaskiwin or at denhamford.ca.
Cars cost less in Wetaskiwin. It's the Nissan Winter Ready event. Rogue brings a very winter-friendly standard all-wheel drive and impressive highway fuel efficiency, and you're free to start planning epic drives to the North Pole and everywhere in between. Right now, lease a 2025 Rogue for the equivalent of $89 weekly for 36 months. Plus, qualifying Nissan owners may receive up to $500 in loyalty bonus. S all-wheel drive for $384 monthly with $3,199 down at 2.99%. Conditions apply. See Nissan.ca for details.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5.46. Welcome back. There's a few late bids. I like it. Mike went up to 1,800, and now Sean came in at 2,000 on our fireplace and wine package. Also, package number one still at 2,000 from Darren. Absolute bargain. You get the Canadian Brewhouse Clubhouse package located in South Edmonton. You get the full gym, volleyball, basketball, hockey, all the men. He's got a tennis ball machine. You want to play tennis in there, or you could play a spirited game of dodgeball with the tennis balls. Rock climbing wall, 2 bowling lanes, 3 TVs, arcade games. Man, this place looks unreal. Unreal. Looks great. And you know what, Cons? I'm going to bid 2,100 on that. So you can call Darren. We'll have a little bit off. That price is too good. There's lots happening.
I was going to say, did you win the lottery?
Yeah. So
it's one of your parties you'd have to host?
Yeah, that would be a fun party, right? That would be a great party. So I like it. So there you go. I'm going to go with 2,100 on that. Why not? It's all for charity. It's a good package. I like it. So there you go. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. We got lots of text flying in our UL inbox. Hey, guys, I'm curious, with the Oilers defensively playing so well, do you think they turn their focus to other positions at the trade deadline? And what's the update on Kane? Well, Kane, as we've said all along, I never thought Kane was coming back until March, right? When you consider, double hernias, he had surgery on abdominal muscles. Like I know people say, well, I saw Kane, he's walking. Yeah, walking is very different than you putting your body through massive exertion, right? It doesn't, it's not remotely comparable at all. So I would look at that and be very different. Hey, Greg's, how long do you have the space for, and what days do you get to pick a day? Yeah. Oh, don't worry. You have it on a weekend, and you can book. You basically get it. So you come in at 2:00. You have it for 12 hours, man. The guy who had his 40th birthday party, they had it there. It's unreal. So yeah, I guess that's a good question, Brett. But you get it for a significant amount of time. It's not like you get it for 2 hours or 4 hours. No. It's basically yours for the night. Is how it works. So you do have to book a month in advance to plan it, which is totally fine. But it's a very good question. I should have specified that. It's not a short-term thing. You You basically come in, you check in. All right, you got fridge. Remember, you got the $1,000 in food, so you pre-order all that stuff, and then you're there for all day. You want to have a poker party, you want to have loads of fun, whatever you do. So it's you'll have a good 10 to 12 hours at the facility, which is fantastic. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 to get in. Hey guys, should Kane not come back until after the deadline? Approximately how much can we spend at the deadline, assuming the roster stays the same until then? Well, but if he comes back after, you can't spend anything, right? Because Kane, he's been on and off of LTIR. So there's been times when they got those injury bugs and Hyman was out and Arvidsson was out and they called guys up. Well, then they weren't accruing cap space. Now they're back to accruing cap space. And so I think by the numbers now, if it's hard, like, you know what? If you had $1 million in cap space now, it could be $4 million by then. So there's benefits for sure. Every day that they accrue cap space, it gets some more cap space. But if Kane comes back at any point during the season, you've got to have that room. Either you've never been in LTIR the time, right? Then sure, because he doesn't count. That's the only way you could do it. If you actually put him on LTIR, then no. Cons, what's happening over there?
Just a donation from last week.
Oh, okay.
Confirming. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Hey, that's all good. We like that. So there you go. I see Darren. You can call him back. I think he's looking to see what's happening now. So there you go. Hey guys, I had a hernia repaired when I was 20. It was brutal. It took me 2 months to do high intensity activities, and I didn't feel normal for like 6 months. So we'll see how that goes, but 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. So Darren is up to 21.50. Oh yeah. Nice. Good one, eh, Darren? What a jabroni.
I like that he put the ha after. He knows what he's doing.
Oh man. Oh, geez, do I let him have it? But geez, I don't know if I want to get bullied by $50. I'll go 2,200. I'll go 22 Cons. So there you go. You can get him on the line. Yeah, can't let him bully me for $50. It's the worst. It's the worst.
I did try to call voicemail twice.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't want my pressure, you know.
Oh,
I can be quite intimidating.
Oh, yeah, very, very much so. So we'll see, because it's a fantastic deal. But I get all my buddies together, a group of us, it's gonna be $100 a guy. It's gonna be no big deal at all. Plus, it's for charity, so got to do it. Yeah. So Kane, to answer the question for Evander Kane, I got to answer that. Hey, Gregor, you had mentioned something about how the Oilers could get Kane playing without counting on the cap. How does that work again? So now I remember, in theory, there is, because Kane's on LTIR or because he's been injured all year long, you could put him on an LTIR conditioning stint because he's been in and out. Well, he's on LTIR, but they're not in LTIR, if that makes any sense. But if a player's on LTIR for the length of time that he has been, you're allowed to put him on a conditioning stint where he doesn't count against the cap. Because normally, if a player is on a conditioning stint, they do count against the cap. So he could go on a conditioning stint, so he can get he's down there for the week, you play 3 games, and then you can actually apply for an extension. So in theory, now the league has to grant it, but I was looking at precedents, and they've granted it before where a guy had 3 games and then he got an extra 3, and they were like, yeah, fine, it's 2 weeks, whatever. But that wasn't right at the end of the season. So would the opposition cry foul? It's not cheating. It's using the rules to your advantage is what it is. So that's how they, in theory, could do it. They could even wait till the last week of the season if they wanted to and do it, right? And go from there. So. $5.54. Well, we got a few guys now texting in, so well, I think we got to cut it off. Cons, I think Darren's going to win at 2,300. Congrats, Darren. Congrats. On behalf of Connor Halley, I'm Jason Gregor. We got the pregame show coming up next. Walker, Paulson, Ferraro in today. I think he might be. So they will set you up, Boston and the Edmonton Oilers. We'll break it down tomorrow, and the Pyramid of Giving for Adopted Teen. I know that one's special for a lot of you because some of you remember tough times as a teen, so help out tomorrow. Have a great day. Here it's a Con Man Sports 1440 brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. If all of a sudden your furnace kicks out at night, on the weekend, no overtime charges. LegacyHeating.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
It is game day. The Edmonton Oilers taking on the Boston Bruins down at the Ice District. Victor Arvidsson drawing back into the lineup for the first time in 15 games. We've got pregame coverage coming up for you right here on Sports 1440. Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson with the coverage. A couple games underway right now in the NHL. Lightning lead the Blues 1-0 after 20. Also, Jackets up on the Devils 1-0 midway through the first. Flyers and Kings are scoreless later tonight. Flames host the Sens. Penguins take on the Preds. Canucks and Vegas, and the Sharks up against the Avalanche. Week 16 in the NFL kicks off in 20 minutes. Chargers, Broncos from SoFi Stadium in the association. The Raptors right now lead the Nets 14-13 now and just in the first quarter. PWHL, Minnesota Frost hosting the Ottawa Chargers. That gets going in about 10 minutes time. And at the college football level, Sam Houston, Georgia Southern tied at 7 apiece in the second quarter in the RNL Carriers New Orleans Bowl. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Up next, pregame coverage. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station.